someone she's so far away.
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known. And we'll chase the night. Erase all of these broken dreams and flight. And we'll fly. Up here, we're free, bound only by frozen memories. Lost in time, racing all these broken dreams tonight. And we'll
Hello everybody and welcome to another week of Geek Fortress Modern. I'm excited. I hope that you are too. Our camera's been a little bit funky lately, so I'm going to be playing with these settings just a little bit as we try and find the right balance there. And that looks close enough to me for now. But thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being awesome. The only thing to watch while writing final papers, Modern Wednesdays at the Fortress. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. Expess414. I'm going to assume that I pronounced that right, and if I didn't, please assume that I did. Thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure having you here, and I hope that you are having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day wherever you are and whoever you are. Same to you, Aggie, and Atomic Panda. It's going to be a fun night. We've got 4 rounds of that super sweet modern format. The players are lining up. They're getting hyped. They're getting psyched. And of course, they're getting ready to face the beast that is each other. Each round across 4 stages of opponents, which of course are, again, themselves the true enemy within, if you will. They're going to have to fight through them. They're going to have to end up on top, and they're going to walk away with some of that super sweet store credit that we all know, we all love, and we all like to not share, because how else are we going to build those super sweet modern decks that we know and we love? Oh, right, that's how, because we're drafting Modern Masters, which just came out That's an exciting way to do it too, because the prices are dropping, the cards are filling in, the binders are loaded up, and the deck slots are filling. Steven here has got a match for me. Tell me all about it.
We got John on the wall playing Ad Nauseam.
He convinced you, huh?
Coleman was also on board.
I don't know what it is. Did he tell you what it is?
What?
Apparently there's a reason.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Is it good?
Yeah. That's why I'm sticking around.
Alright, and who's his opponent?
Chance. He's playing Boros Burn.
So you got me.
They're asking if the table's correctly aligned.
It was. Are they bumping it?
You want to find out?
One way or another. So this better be worth it, because you gave me probably the worst matchup out there.
That's Dylan's fault, if anything.
What is it?
Are we live?
Yes.
You'll see.
I don't like this. Alright. So, let's head on down to the
Give him a
field.
thumbs up.
And, sure, let's give him the thumbs up. See you there. Alright, so the players are lining up. Oh, God. John! John! So this is what it was. Cool. Alright, so Chance up against John, Boros Burn against Ad Nauseam. John bringing in the tech. I have to wonder if this is actually the deck, or, because if so, I'm super pleased. Oh, goodness. Any lantern at the store? Maybe. I don't know. I know that there's some 8-rack in the field, but I'm not sure if that is out there. I'd rather not. You apparently chose this?
Oh, I want to see. I want to see it. Oh, gosh. Goodness.
You broke the integrity of random match picking for this?
Man. He doesn't even he doesn't even bridge it back.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh.
John's a bold kind of guy.
It was random, actually. It just happened to land on John.
Liar.
Oh, God, there it is again.
Who's favored in this matchup? Ad Nauseam, and it's not even remotely close. So they unfortunately got me this, and they also got me
maybe.
possibly the worst matchup in the room.
So he's playing against... that I did not know. Hey, we're rolling some dice.
Nope, those cards aren't cheap.
Oh, man. And you know what's even better? Is earlier John was eating some cheesy bread before he was playing.
And was he still playing?
Oh, John just drew 8 shot. Okay, I was like, what?
Bold move.
I realize the sleeves aren't on it, but that doesn't mean you just draw extra cards.
Ah, goodness. Can I just get him out of here for marked cards?
I think they're all okay. Yeah,
They look fine.
he's been.
I'm going to pretend like it's not there.
Yeah.
Alright, so we do have Seacrum Coast, we've got Sleight of Hand, we do have the Ad Nauseam, a Pentad Prism in hand, and I think I see an Angel's Grace or a Friction Unlife. This hand looks pretty bonkers already.
Yeah,
Chance starting off with a Grim Lavamancer, which will do almost nothing in this matchup, because Chance going with the fast land means that he will not likely have enough resources to fire off the Grim Lavamancer as well, and if he does, John will only be at 15. So John's got a lot of time, and more than likely the Grim Lavamancer is just going to attack for 1, unless Chance has Fetch Land, then Burn Spell, and it looks like he may have kept a 1-lander, which is not where you want to be in this. Suspending a Rift Bolt.
Yeah, he definitely kept a 1-lander.
Attack for 1.
Oh gosh, that hurts. When you're swinging with Lavamancer, you're.
I love attacking with Lavamancer, but it's only in certain
Only when you
situations.
have to.
And this is not the matchup where you want to do this. This isn't the matchup where you want 1 land. This is just going to be a rough go for Chance. He was already wildly unfavored, and I can't picture this going particularly well moving forward. He's got Phyrexian Unlife plus a Pact of Negation.
Yeah, another sleight of hand. He's just another pact negation, grabs a land.
Doesn't need the packs very much. Every
No.
card that Chance has does the same thing. There are no silver bullets.
Right.
Quix, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Otherwise, John, with the Pentad Prism, could fire that off next turn to put a couple of counters on it. He also has got his storage land, the Dead Ship Reef, and we've got another Pentad Prism in hand. Okay.
Burn.
Yeah, Ad Nauseam is super favored in this matchup. It's not particularly close.
And there's the Unlife. Yeah, just, I mean, Burn is just go, 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 and Ad Nauseam can take it all and then just, okay.
Yeah, Phyrexian Unlife is just insane.
Yeah.
Angel's Grace is just insane.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, they don't really care. They win the same from one as they do from anything else.
Yep. No, the combo I would suspect is a lot. Any combo decks against Burn, because they can just go, 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 and then once the combo is off, they just are like, well, I didn't get there fast enough.
Yeah, the only ones that can potentially struggle are ones that put in Gristlebrand, like the one that tries to like put in as many cards as possible.
Oh, sure.
That one can slightly struggle, only because they can make it harder to pay for the Gristlebrand. But even then, that deck, like that particular one, is still running the Shoal, the Nourishing Shoal, which gains them a lot of life.
Eidolon is going to be an interesting one.
So Eidolon is actually one of the best cards
Yeah.
in this matchup because of the number of cantrips in this deck.
Let's go down to 10, and John still has yet to see. He's got,
John's also got a lot of time.
yeah.
He's got this Phyrexian Unlife, which means
Is
that
it a
Chance
Spoils of the Vault?
needs to
I can't tell.
reduce. His hand is not made to deal the right amount of damage at the moment. Though actually that just slightly fixed it. If John is falling to 8 off of this, Chance can swing for 5 and deal 3. That'll put John to the 0 required, where he needs to deal 10 the
And then
next
10
turn.
more next turn, yep. Yeah,
But
if you
that's
can get
still-
him exactly to 0
That's a
next turn.
best case scenario, Chance killing him in 2 turns.
Yeah.
And John is at 5 mana, has a Phyrexian Unlife,
He essentially needs to deal 20 damage in 2 shots.
and he's got a Spoils of the Vault in hand.
Yeah, that's what I thought that was. I couldn't quite tell what that was. Spoils the Vault.
You've cast it before.
Oh, I do like me some spoils. It's a fun card. John didn't update his life, I don't think.
Yeah, it's possible that Chance missed the trigger. And seeing as we don't catch their triggers,
Do
then
we
it might
not?
just be a missed one. Nope.
Oh.
We catch illegal game actions, but triggers are not our bit.
Chance,
Yep.
chance. We live and learn.
Mm-hmm. That Quacks, that sounds so painful. Let me get some chat for you, actually. Let's see here. Boop.
Oh, now I can read it instead of looking this way.
Yep. Yep, it's pretty brilliant. And a Boros Charm might actually make this to where it deals enough. Chance is going to fall to 17, but that's very...
6, 7, 8. Yeah, he has exactly 10 on the... Oh, no, he can't activate Boros Charm. Or, I mean, he can't activate Grim Lavamancer, I'm sorry. Unless he has a land, but he didn't play it. So
No,
he's got
and with
4,
John
5, 6,
not
7,
taking that
8.
damage, he's likely going to fall to 1,
Yep. That
which
is-
means that John gets a free spell out of this.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty...
And I don't expect him to just pass the turn. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Oh, hits that land.
Keeping up the Eidolon or keeping up the Grim Lavamancer doesn't make much sense to me.
No.
So-
I mean, I guess maybe 2... I guess, yeah, you're right. Attacking with it or not attacking with it is pretty irrelevant.
Well, I guess, but holding it back
Doesn't do anything, it's
either.
an awkward kind of a...
Thanks, Weston. I appreciate that. So we do have that, and actually we might still be struggling. He could fire off this Spoils of the Vault, but it is life loss, so he would need an Angel's Grace. So he could go for the risky Angel's Grace.
Yeah. Man, all those, the four blue scry draw effects, couldn't find one that he needed.
No, John's just completely missing. He needs to find Ad Nauseam, doesn't have it.
This is basically when Burn has its option, when the combo deck just doesn't
Kind
draw
of.
anything.
John not casting a spell means that Chance can't kill him this turn.
Yeah.
So if I was Chance, if I can, I'm firing off like a Rift Bolt right now. Or actually, I might just activate the Grim Lavamancer.
Right. just
If
put
I have
it
a
in.
land and 2 bolts, then that's close to a win. Or it is a win if I have a land and 2 bolts. But at this point, Chance would have fired off that sequence of cards some time ago.
Alright, so now life does not matter. Phyrexian Unlife is active.
Now it's poison or bust. So he attacked for 2 instead of using the Grim Lavamancer, which is unusual.
Oh, he has a...
Firing off the helix. Still, the sequence is unusual. How he's choosing to play around this is a little bit odd.
3 poison.
So Chin's going to be at 18. John is at 3 poison.
I mean, it does
Could
seem like
have-
the sequencing is off.
Thanks, Jamie. That's awesome.
I tweeted about them streaming the other day.
The charity stream.
Is that what it was? I can't remember.
There's
but
the charity stream for Team NFG. bot.
I did a
Happening-
retweet, and they said hi to me, so I wanted to say hi to them.
It's happening Friday.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yep.
very cool.
They're doing a 24-hour charity stream.
Oh,
If the
24
enough
hours.
is raised,
Is that 24 hours straight?
yeah, if enough is raised, they will be giving away paper power.
Wow.
Yeah. I might Skype in.
I'll get in on that.
Is this an unsleeved deck? Yes, it is.
You got it.
You should have seen him shuffling it beforehand, too.
Oh, man.
Thanks, Todd. I appreciate that. Look at
Hello,
all those
Todd.
sweet auto hosts. Thanks, Todd.
Is he viewing or just hosting?
That's an auto host.
Oh, okay. Well, hello, auto host.
Hey, he had to pick us.
That's true.
We drew into yet another Pact of Negation.
Gosh, just I don't know how many he's seen now. He's got to have seen at least half.
He's
the deck,
getting
right?
punished for playing with this unsleeved deck.
Oh no. Ah, well.
And look at that. We named Spoils of the Vault. We find it. And we are going to reveal the win. So he goes for Spoils of the Vault, goes for the Life Loss Clause, draws the entirety of the deck, and he is going off. Chance is tapped out. Is the Red Baron MTG hosting? I don't know. We're going to reveal the win, and John takes game 1. So, goes for that Spoils of the Vault, names ad nauseum, finds it in the first 3 cards, didn't matter anyway. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Also, please keep it family friendly. Anthe1511! You're amazing! You almost lost you when we had the unsleep. Honestly, I didn't know it was going to be on there. John apparently convinced everyone else out there to put him on camera. Oh, man. That is fantastic. Thank you, Anthe. I appreciate it. So it looks like we do have the ley lines of Sanctity coming on. Hey, what's up, Fish Liver Oil? It's good to see ya. If your name was Cod Liver Oil, you'd be an entertaining song by, I think, Great Big Sea. Though, either way, you're still entertaining and pretty great. So, ad nauseum going for the sideboard seems to be mostly ley lines coming in, and I think I saw Dramoka. The life gain clause on that one is pretty big. Acting like you're new here? No, it's not that you're new here, it's just that I appreciate you. Quarthian. I believe I've heard that deck described as being called Dos Equis because of the double X's on the Death Shadow. Or not the, I guess not the Death Shadow, it's 13s that are on a Death Shadow, but still, it's pretty sweet. The Mermaid, I don't know, that's not my favorite song. I think River Driver might be my favorite song of theirs. I don't know. They've got a lot of good songs. I do like Great Big Sea, though. Chance likely bringing in some number of Destructive Revelries. I would assume 4 of them. I hope he's not bringing in Deflecting Palm, because you shouldn't. Likely taking out cards that don't matter. Any Searing Blazes that are in the main deck are likely coming out. Not sure what else I would want to bring in this matchup. There's not a whole lot if he's got any other just particularly good cards, like anything that deals damage, but mostly it's about getting out the Searing Blazes. You need as fast of a clock as possible. I could also see a good argument for taking out the Grim Law of Mantras if you have those extra cards for the Destructive Revelry, because for Chance it is all about going full barrel, screaming in with as many burn spells as possible to beat John. John, on the other hand, can buy a lot of time. Your favorite song is by Atmosphere. Everyone's favorite song is by Atmosphere. Yep. John's pulling a pretty successful troll on us. But that's okay. I'm going to ignore it because if we focus on it a lot, that means he wins. And he already took a game, so we don't want to give him another. Okay. Honesty Dragon, staying true to your name, I do enjoy your attitude. So we've got a gemstone, we've got a couple of temples. I also do see some sleight of hand, a pentad prism. It's not a bad hand, all things considered. Not a bad hand. Chance is going to kick things off with a fetch. And we are probably going to go down to 17. Unusual, this doesn't... I think Chance has got one land. If he's going for a Sacred Foundry, he probably only has one land in hand. Otherwise, if he had a basic, or if he has another fetch land, another dual land, even if the other land in my hand was a basic, I would have started out on that one. This screams I have one land, because even if I had a Sacred Foundry, I would have just fetched up a basic. You don't need a whole lot of white mana in here. And if I had another fetch land, maybe it's that he has another fetch land and he intends to fetch the green source next turn to make sure that he can go for it. Well, the problem is that lands in front of creatures isn't illegal. Oh, goodness. No, yeah, I completely think he has one land, and I think he's proving that right now. So, the Swift Spear comes down. It does deal a little bit of damage to John, but he's at 16, and it looks like Chance was, in fact, on one land. I was trying to think of situations in which why he would ever have a second one and go for that sequence, but if it's Boros Burn, it'll almost always go for a basic on turn 1. Fun fact. The reason why you go for the Sacred Foundry is because you only have one land, and actually that's Sacred Foundry. We're going to fall to 15. No green mana for these Destructive Revelries, though, and if you're John, he's missed a land drop. He drew that. I actually feel pretty safe playing in these Phyrexian Unlives. John possibly took out some number of the Pentad Prism, just because they do get hit by the Destructive Revelry, but I think I do see at least one in hand, so possibly not. We're going to reveal a Gemstone Mine and put that into our hand, and we're going to fall to 13. We're still looking a little bit... As far as things go, that land drop punished, but Chance is coming back pretty well. So, a sleight of hand from John. We're going to take the damage this time and fall to 11. And we're going to put a Pentad Prism on the bottom library. So it looks like we may have had another card that we wanted to take out more, possibly some number of the counterspell as well, the Pact of Negation. They'll almost certainly, I'd be willing to bet that John kept in one of his Pact of Negations. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, Captain Harris. Okay. So, we got another one. We're going to fall to 9. We got to find one of these answers, possibly looking for an Angel's Grace. Looking potentially for... Ooh, the Unlife is a really good draw. The problem is that he is looking at taking potentially lethal next turn, and I do not see an Angel's Grace, so John might just be dead if Chance has a burn spell in hand. Then this is lethal. So...
I'm gonna sit with you for the first round.
Oh, what's up, Harry?
Because I heard you were lonely.
Thanks.
And I couldn't make it on time, so I got a bye.
So, John's playing an Unsleeved Ad Nauseam deck, and Chance is swinging to put him down to 4, and did not have the backup burn spell, but did have a backup Eidolon, which means that John is actually dead to just about anything.
What's the life totals? Is that
4 to 13, which means that
there's the die.
only Ad Nauseam saves John, but he can't cast Phyrexian Unlife or Angel's Grace. He would die to the Eidolons before any of those resolves. So actually, John is just dead this game, and we're going to go to a game 3.
Yeah. Why is he playing unsleeved?
Mostly to bother us. Sorry, I meant entirely to bother us.
That's a really valid reason.
Yeah, it does seem pretty valid, so I'm choosing to completely ignore it otherwise.
That's fair.
To not let him
I mean,
win.
I don't care. It says back.
Snarf, it's good to see you. I mean, functionally, it's kind of cool seeing the magic back, as Honesty Dragon pointed out. It's kind of exciting. How's your day going?
It's alright. I had to work late. Lots of meetings this week.
Yeah, meetings are good.
Big day tomorrow too. I get to go out to dinner with the CEO, so that's kind of cool.
That is super cool. Knock their socks off. Then you'll be the E CEO.
I don't think so, but lots of big changes at my job, so it's exciting.
I do remember that, Josh.
I remember that as well.
To
That
be
was early
named
on.
1. You've never been here before? Well, welcome. My name's TJ.
Harry.
And this is the Geek Fortress stream. We do this 3 times a week right now, every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And it's a lot of fun, so I look forward to seeing you more in the future. Is that $500 worth of unprotected cardboard? I mean,
Is that not that expensive? I feel like it's not.
so is Hooverville. But I guess people were upset about that too.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense.
People get really upset on the internet in general.
People do get upset on the internet. You love playing the game, but you don't have the cash for cards. I hear you.
Thanks for joining us.
That is a rough part of it. Luckily, you can do what I do, which is I actually don't play that much, and I mostly just watch it these days. It's a lot of fun, and I hope that you enjoy your time here.
You can watch Proxy, play with friends.
True.
Cheaper formats.
Also true.
Online's cheaper.
Pauper's ridiculously cheap.
Yep.
You can build like the tier 1 deck for about $30.
And Modern should be a little cheaper than it was for a little while. As well. I mean, it kind of depends on your price range and what format you're trying to get into.
When someone asks you, what do you mean when you play Magic? What do you say? I tell them that they're not illusions. They're... It's like chess and poker combined mostly.
Yeah, I just tell them I play cards professionally.
Yep. Okay. I don't believe he's playing Whiteboarder. I did ask him before if he was playing any Whiteboarder cards. I don't believe that's
Sleight
the
of hand
case.
he is. I believe. Wasn't it Whiteboarder?
Oh, you're right. That is Whiteboarder. I remember him specifically pursuing
Old
Whiteboarder
version
ones.
I saw. I don't know if there is a black version
He
of
was
that.
trading a Blackboarder Russian one for Whiteboarder ones. Yeah, he was looking to make sure that they were all Whiteboarder. This hand's kind of medium for John, but it's got a fetch, or it's got a Scryland, which are really nice. The Temple of Deceit.
Yeah, and he's got one of the combo pieces that he needs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna be a little slow. Is that a Lotus Bloom as well? What's the artifact? Or is it Pentad Prism?
I believe it's a Lotus Bloom, and it looks like it
It
is.
is a Pentad Prism as well. I think it's fine. He's got Ad Nauseam
He's
as well.
got a
He's got pretty much everything.
He's got a Nauseam and Angel's Grace. All he needs to do is survive.
Yeah, it's just a little slow. But
So is I mean,
he
chances,
doesn't really go off super fast anyways, honestly.
but the hand is also fully resilient to Destructive Reverie
This is true.
because
Which isn't a big factor, but
it's a big
is.
factor.
I mean, it's only Phyrexian on life, which they run 2 of, right?
No, they run usually 3, sometimes 4. Yeah, but it's still like one of the better things that helps them go up faster, and Chance certainly brought it in. And if you can trap any of those Destructive Reveries in Chance's hand, then it means that he is even less likely to actually get the kill in time.
Yeah.
What do I think of your Doro-approved tech of Kambal in Cord decks? That's a question for you more than me.
I missed it. I don't know what the card is. I have to see what the card is first, and then I have an opinion.
Yep.
Seems pretty fair.
Renegade Coaster, I have noticed that I know that they're rocking my leather jacket, shirt and tie look. I'm particularly pleased about it, and I cannot wait to meet both Todd and Tom in San Antonio. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of
I feel
fun.
like I'm underdressed for this occasion.
You are.
You're preparing, but I didn't know I was going to come in here, so
That's okay. I have an extra tie in my car.
I'm just doing the first round.
That's fair.
It's funny because I was wearing like a collared shirt and stuff, tie, and then I changed before I got here.
So Pentad Prism coming down for John, which means that he is slightly more vulnerable. Next turn he'll probably drop a Temple, but that does mean he'll have the full mana needed. It also means that he could even cross into a realm of actually being able to pay for that Pact of Negation, but with John only at 19 right now,
Yeah, he looks like he's in a really good
he
position.
is safe right now. He fell down to 18 and he's going off the turn after this.
Yes, exactly. He's gonna wait 1 turn for Lotus Bloom. So even if the Pentad Prism is killed, he really only has to realistically get a land. And
Well,
he can still go off.
He actually doesn't. That Lotus Petal comes off of Suspend, and both Ad Nauseam and
it's
Angel's
3,
Grace
yeah,
and
you're
Lightning
right.
Storm
You're-
are all instant speed
it's 3.
spells.
Yeah,
They're-
I was thinking he only had 5 open. You're right.
So even in the upkeep, John would be able to actually
Combo
take it.
is a 2/3 for 3 that drains them and gains you life for 2. Each land creature spell an opponent plays.
They didn't invite
Um,
me, Honesty Dragon.
I don't know if I love combo. I feel like voice just is better a lot of times. I feel like drain's not super relevant because you can combo them off, or you can deal just, I don't know. The deck already has a lot of decent life gain and can infinite combo and stuff. I don't know if draining's super important in the Kiki Cord deck. And then a 3-drop for a 2/3 isn't usually where you want to be, and I feel like you'd rather just be playing voice. It's just more value in the deck. It's better versus
Card is
control.
sweet though.
And I think if you're gonna go like something that's really good against control, you have stuff like Rook Thar up top at 6, and lower you have what was the white card? I played it.
Another Goblin Guide coming down.
But I can't.
Eidolon
they
of
can't play mana
Rhetoric.
creatures,
Oh,
or
Gotcha.
they can't play
Eidolon of Rhetoric.
stuff on your turn.
Grand Abolisher.
Grand Abolisher. That's what it's. Double white. Yeah.
So we've got a Lava Spike coming in at John. Chance fell down to 7 for all of this, but he's got 8 damage on the field. John's still looking fine. He's about to fall to 7.
That's the thing with Ad Nauseam. They don't really care what their life total is as
Nope.
long as it's at
He
1 before they go off.
And it reveals the Phyrexian Unlife, but John, that's just going to come off. He's going to go down to 5. He's going to fire off an Angel's Grace and go to 3. But Chance has no instant speed burn unless he's got 3 gut shots in hand, which would just be wildly impressive, actually. What's up, dogs? It's good to see you. I hope Alabama is well. Good to see us, Sora155. Alright,
Yeah,
we're
you should
down
be
to
able
3.
go off right here.
Yep. Alright, so John takes the win. Looks like Unsleeved Ad Nauseam off to a good start.
Yep.
Note that John did that all at the upkeep. He did not draw his card for the turn.
Yeah.
So, you know, style points, I suppose.
Yeah.
Style
I mean,
points
his
are
deck, it
important.
doesn't matter.
No,
much.
no,
other,
not
other
at all.
decks like Kiki Cord, you want to go for your upkeep so you don't actually draw something like the Kiki Jiki.
Were we talking fashion? No, they were talking about how you were all wearing my patented shirt and tie leather jacket look for San Antonio. And then they asked if I was your third team member, to which I replied that you didn't invite me.
That's true.
Yeah, so
It's kind of messed up.
I should add the other person. You're right. You're right, I should add the other person. This is Harry, everybody. Let's head on up to the field. Do you want to see if possibly there's another match out there?
I will see if I can find another matchup.
Thank you very much. Hello, and thank you so much. You're going to go Vest also? I'm way ahead of you, Todd. I'm way ahead of you. I'm next leveling you every time. You think you got me beat, but I got the Vest. Thoughts on Vest with Leather Jacket? I'm a fan, Todd. I'm way ahead of you. Way ahead of you. Whoa! So Harry's out there seeing if we got another match for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got 4 rounds of it. I can't spell his name, apparently. There we go. And he's going to join me for the third. It's Dan. I did spell Harry wrong. But now I've fixed it. Thank you, to be named. But he doesn't own a leather jacket. Ooh, what's his size? What's his size? Yes, we are an LGS. We're streaming out of a shop called Geek Fortress, located in Snohomish, Washington. We do the stream 3 times a week. You can go to geekfortressgames.com, where you can go ahead and get some of those singles, some of those sealed, and anything else that you may need. Plus, you got nothing?
I got Steven on the prowl, though. Or he was already on the prowl, but he's looking around. There's a lot of matchups going. They're just all, like, super deep in games.
Nice. That's always exciting.
Lots of new people out there, though. A lot of people I don't recognize, so hopefully new people getting into Modern.
It's a fact.
It's the time to do it.
Todd, I mean, I've got 2 leather jackets. One of them's kind of beat up, though. But still, what's yours and Dan's size? Maybe I can provide leather jackets for the team.
Wow, look at you.
I know. I, of course, just get to take 100% credit for any of their successes.
That seems really fair.
Yeah, it does. It does. Your Swan's deck comes in tomorrow. Oh, goodness.
There is a Swans deck out there tonight.
Is it in the hands of Ian?
I thought it was Logan.
Oh, is Logan borrowing it? That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I believe Ian was on Kiki Cord.
Yep. One of the leather jackets is more beat up, which is why it got replaced with this one. But it's still...
It's more of like a rugged look, yeah.
So TJ is basically the team's fifth Beetle. I'll see what I can do, Todd. I'll see what I can do.
Who are your teammates for San Antonio?
I've got the Donaldson brothers.
So I thought.
Yep. I'm excited.
I don't want to do spoilers. I know Bryce is probably playing. But no, he switches every once in a while.
I'm actually still between decks. I'm still trying to figure out what I'll be playing.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is one of the choices red?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Any Crucible Azusa out there? No, your green-white value deck has not penetrated the Geek Fortress
I don't
yet.
think it's made enough top 8s to...
Just one. It's only made one top 8, Todd.
Yeah.
Gosh. You think it's going to pick up steam that fast? That deck is sweet. Though,
What'd you get?
I still don't get the Azusa.
What?
We have Sean
Affinity versus Affinity?
versus Ryan on the wall, and it is the Affinity Mirror, which is awkwardly one of the most like.
I love the Affinity Mirror.
Puzzly games.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
I love
game
it.
3?
What game are you guys?
I love the Affinity Mirror. Alright, so we're going to do...
Sean has game 1.
Sean has game 1.
I bet he drew more Steel Overseers.
They both get cranial plating? Wow.
Yep. They both get cranial plating. It's the Affinity Mirror match here in round 1. Let's head on down to the field and get ready. We'll see you there. Okay, and both players getting ready there. Did you give them the thumbs up, Aru? Maybe not. I actually don't know.
I don't know if they need a thumbs up. I think they were just sideboarding real quick.
I don't have to get the Azusa. Oh no, I fully appreciate it. However, I feel like it should just be the third Renegade Rallier. If I was playing the deck, it would just be a third Renegade Rallier. So,
I don't know. It's close.
it is
Is it really
close.
good or it's... I don't know.
Well,
Is
it's
this
like it's
either...
a 0-10 card, and I'm thinking of like
there's
something
not as
like a
much
3-7
medium.
card. It's like
yeah.
you know,
I'd agree with that.
yeah. So I like the 3-7 card. It's because playing 3 lands a turn is fundamentally. I fully agree with that one. Fully
this
agree
is
with
true.
that. With a Crucible too, like
Yep.
the Crucible nonsense is just bonkers, right?
Crucible is what pushes it over the edge.
Blighted Agent, thank you so much for the sub. It's awesome having you here. That's 3 months in a row. Plus, you're putting in some of that Fort Flail.
And someone said Infect wasn't alive.
Broke N. That's true. I will give you that. I'm just saying that I would probably take the conservative choice. The Azusa, however, did put on a good show when it was on camera.
Yeah, I'd probably take the Todd Stevens choice, honestly. Cause
Would you?
It's a little spicier.
It is 100% spicier.
And I like to do fun, spicy things. So
It is 100% spicier.
you probably would just splash red for a bolt or something.
I'm playing Naya Green White Value Town. What'd you take out? All the green and white cards. They were boring.
I kept it as is so I could play more lands, play more bolts.
Turn 3 Azusa. Land to land. Magma Jet you. That way I can scry 2 lands to the top.
And then you could play Blighted Gorge too.
Talaric, you continue doing the thing. Well, thank you so much for continuing to do the thing. That's 4 months in a row.
Appreciate it.
Yes, we do. You're great. So let's talk a little bit about this Affinity Mirror match. No, he's still on, I think, the True Jund. I'm not sure if he has switched to Death Shadow.
Peter is on True Jund as far as I'm aware.
So Affinity Mirror match, 100% about making profitable 1-for-1 trades. That's all that it is. So usually what you want to take out is, we will see what we can do, Blighted Agent. That is actually a Disfigure and a Galvanic Blast. Or, I'm sorry, Dismember and a Galvanic Blast.
I'm surprised he kept the Edge Champion in.
The Edge Champions should have been the first card out. The second card that you take out is Signal Pest. Because it is a 0-1 and it is awful in combat. It is exactly the same as why you take out Signal Pest against Lingering Souls cards.
Yeah, and you don't have profitable attacks a lot of times when they have Ornithopters and stuff. It just kind
Exactly.
of clashes.
Exactly. So the Edge Champion is pretty unusual here. Maybe his thought was to keep it safe from all the removal, but it does still die to everything else.
All the creatures. Yeah.
And on the one side, it's not too bad because it is a 2/2 at that base level. The problem is that you're spending 3 mana for it, which is where I don't like it. So it's actually, I've seen some reason.
Yeah, it's just extra text is not as much value in this matchup.
Agreed. But I have seen people bring that in, favoring taking out the Signal Pest because it is a 2-2, which wins some combats.
Yeah.
Sean going for...
I believe he has 2 Signal Pests too, and he's going very wide turn 1.
Boy, then I don't know how these two sideboarded.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been a Memnite and a Signal Pest that I saw originally, but I thought there was 2 Signal Pests.
Now, Ryan has got the Haymaker in this matchup, but it doesn't go super well. The big thing that we have in this matchup, the big X factor, is the Steel Overseer, because it ruins any potential of the idea of having that profitable 1-for-1. So usually a Steel Overseer that runs away with the game is just bonkers, but Ryan is a little bit too far behind to fully capitalize on this.
Yeah.
Has a Dismember and 2 Galvanic Blasts, but no colored mana.
No red, yeah, which just hurts a lot.
Tudge, it's good to see you. Welcome to the Geek Fortress stream. I'm happy to have you here, and I hope that you are having a wonderful, wonderful day.
I as well hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful day.
Okay.
2 Signal Pests it was.
The grid, if they
Very
have the
wide.
if they have the Ether grid, it's phenomenal. Wear and Tear is actually one of the reasons why I kept Wear and Tear in the sideboard over some other options, is because in the mirror match, it is an absolute house to kill it's a Cranial Plating and a Gear per Aether Grid is
Yeah.
just insane.
I mean, even 1-for-1ing with any artifact of your choice is strong enough. Honestly.
Exactly. Anytime that you can use any of your resources, like a Memnite for like a Vault Scourge, fantastic 1-for-1. Candorath, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you being here. I hope you are having a wonderful day. That can't be an coincidence. Boo.
What do you think about the line of activating Blink Moth, blocking, using Steel Overseer to make it 2-2, but using the Dismember before combat so Signal Pest doesn't make his army stronger?
Wait, what?
Over. Instead of playing Cranial Plating, he has 3 Blink Moths, right?
So you're saying to activate
Sorry.
a Blink Moth Nexus, activate the Steel Overseer to have a 2-2, get in the way of one and dismember the other? Pre-combat?
Dismember a Signal Pest, probably.
Pre-combat?
Yeah, and then you can block with Blink Moth.
Actually,
Yeah,
you could
something.
really just hit one and block the other.
You could do that as well.
It-
Yeah, because the Signal Pest only get +1. The only problem is then you're going to hit for more damage
Mhm.
and taking forward Dismember.
So we do have the Spire of Industry, which is out. Phenomenal new card. We've got 2 Signal Pests. We've got 1 Memnite, which is the ground 1/1 for 0. We've got 2 Ornithopters, the 0/2 flying for 0. And we're equipping this Cranial Plating up to a Vault Scourge, which is almost certainly going to get met by this Dismember. But that's still a pretty painful hit. You're looking
Yeah,
at
it's a lot of
taking
damage.
7, 8, 9 plus the 4 from that. So Ryan's going to be at 3 after this. I think Sean just sweeps this in 2.
Yeah, it's looking like a difficult place to get out of. Especially with the 2 Signal Pests that you have to pretty much take out to survive after you get rid of the Vault Scourge.
Right, and you can trade the Steel Overseer for the Memnite if you want to end up at 6, but that's still a rough spot to be in.
Yeah, I think his best bet is hope to draw a red source off the top. He kills the Vault Scourge here now, and then a red source can kill a Signal Pest, and then he has a blocker. I don't know. It's hard.
Mark
I think he's at
Confidant,
3.
thank you so much for the sub. It's awesome having you here. You're the best. Thank you so very much.
He's taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Plus the...
If he kills the Vault Scourge, so he's taking 9 plus 4, 13. Yeah, he's at 3.
Yeah, it's pretty rough right now.
So if he kills the Vault Scourge, top decks a red source, he can Galv Blast, and he'll have Blink Moth to block with next turn,
Mm-hmm.
and he can block with a Steel Overseer on the Memnite, and he'd be at... Well, he's got Cranial Plating too, though,
It's a
which
really...
complicates everything.
It's a really rough line, because those 2 Spire of Industry can just start instant speed equipping next turn.
Yeah.
It's not a situation in which I see Ryan losing. I see Ryan winning, unfortunately. You just got done doing some modern testing. Do we know of any spicy decks in the room? I know Swans is still in the room. So what's the battle plan for an Affinity deck? It has 2 of them. One of them is to go really wide with things like these Ornithopters, Midnights, and Signal Pest. The other one is to go really tall with either Edge Champion or just putting all of it on there with either a Cranial Plating or an Arcbound Ravager. But while it may not be the particularly fastest, Sean takes it down because Sean had a busted hand. Well, a hand that was way better than Ryan's.
I think if Ryan had red early on, it would have been a little bit of a different game.
Completely agree.
But
I'm
just too slow of a start.
I kind of want to see how they sideboarded in this one.
Yeah, I'm looking. He's going through his deck right now.
Yep.
Looks
But
like he kept him 2 etched.
it's an aggressive combo deck. What the power in the deck that where it comes from is that it's not the fastest and it's also not the most resilient, but is absolutely the most versatile.
Yeah, it hits from
aggro
so
deck.
many different angles, especially with like Inkmoth Nexus and stuff.
Exactly. It's got an infect backup plan. It's got
Aether Grid
a
backup
swarm
plan.
game plan. It's got an edge champion for heavy removal decks. It's got an Anthem and Master of Ethereum for like the pinging decks. It's got the Cranial Plating for just versatility. It's got Arcbound Ravager for just completely negating the ability to removal and to retain those resources. It's got creature lands which allow you to survive board wipes.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Mox Opal for fast mana to help fuel this.
And the deck is fast. I think where the deck falters, if it gets to the point where it is a little bit later game and they're in top deck mode,
Absolutely.
is where it gets difficult.
And if you can also
and you need
bust-
to have a board presence, essentially.
If you can bust any of the bomb pieces, Cranial Plating, Arcbound Ravager, even not Edge Champion actually, but any of these
Master
cards,
Ethereum,
that's a
maybe.
big one. If you can break up those, every card in Affinity is inherently bad. It is purely based on synergy.
Yes.
And so if you're able to disrupt the key pieces that really build it up, then the whole deck kind of falters.
That's essentially what it is. It's a very synergized deck.
Yep.
And it has been for a long time. It's been pretty...
It's been tuned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's about...
Aether Grid's a somewhat new addition, but besides that, it's been pretty much the same for...
Spire of Industry, but that's
It's not
basically
really
just filling in some of the
yeah,
glimmer voids.
I wouldn't say that's really a different new tech.
Agreed. But let's head up to the booth. We've got about 9 minutes left. We might be able to get something else in, maybe a game 3 before round 2 begins. But we've got 4 of them tonight, so let's see what we can do.
Steven should be looking for another matchup, I believe. But
Excellent.
I can go double check.
I appreciate that. Hello everybody and thank you for joining. Looks like we had one of our lights kick on while we were doing that. So I'm going to play with that a little bit more. Our cameras have been a little bit iffy lately. And hopefully, there we go. Look at that. I fixed it again. Thank you everybody for joining. My name's TJ. I'm joined at the moment by Harry, though he's only joining for 1 round before we move into the other 3 rounds of the night, because we've got 4 rounds of them tonight of this super duper sweet modern action. Harry's stepping back into the booth, and we're excited to have you here. We do this 3 times a week currently, every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. We have Modern every Wednesday at 7 and Saturday at 6. But
Any special events coming up?
unconfirmed.
Oh, really? For the GPT?
What format is it?
Modern?
So on Sunday we'll be streaming a Modern GPT, as it turns out. I just became informed of this, gosh, about 1 second ago. So on Sunday I'll be doing a GPT. It should be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I hope that you are too. I'm probably going to be in here for upwards of about 10 hours as we start off,
trying to
I
help.
assume, at noon. And I'll be going until probably about, actually we won't have the full event, maybe about 7. It should be about a 7-hour stream on Sunday. Sunday! Be there, because they are getting a GPT. The winner gets a buy at Vegas. Yes.
Hope to see all of you.
Absolutely. I'm going to Vegas. You going to Vegas?
Going to Vegas.
Absolutely,
As long as I
dude.
can get work off.
Hey, I
Double
already
check
did.
Things, but
And you gotta love going to Vegas. You gotta have fun there. There's gonna be 3 GPs. It's a triple GP weekend. Have they done that before?
the answer to that is no.
That is correct. The answer is no. Be a part of history. Come hang out with us. Come hang out with Magic. Come hang out with the world and go see a beautiful place filled with tall buildings, shiny lights, and a lot of lost money. Some of it found. Some of it might be yours. Some of it's someone else's. A lot of money mixing when you get to Vegas. But some of that is going to be the cardboard on the table.
All true statements.
Thank you so much. I do love it when you're here to fact check me.
Yep. I don't even know what to say. You pretty much covered it all.
Thank you.
It is a magical place.
It's a magical place! Why go to Disneyland when you can go to a GP in Vegas?
Yep. I agree.
Put it on a t-shirt, sell thousands. Not millions. Just a couple thousand.
It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of magic.
There's going to be at least 4 Magics.
4 Magics.
Plus maybe some Penn and Teller.
Possibly.
That makes it 5.
Yeah.
We should go see that, and then we
that's a
should
lot of
challenge him to
Magics.
just get front row seats at Penn and Teller and just be like shuffling a deck the whole time. Challenge them.
Just all going like hoods, and then like all step up one by one and challenge them.
Jace cosplaying.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Yes.
He's
I'm
the most
totally-
wizardry.
Do you play Modern Penn and Teller? I need you to describe how you're beating me as you're doing it. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm excited about Modern
It'll
tonight.
be probably the most fun GP trip that we've done, and we're going for about a week probably, huh?
Yes. I'll be there, I think, Wednesday to Tuesday. I think you're joining me for that.
I'm going to do my best.
Wonderful. I've got San Antonio coming up as well, where I'll be there from Thursday to Monday. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I chose not to go to San Antonio.
That makes sense. Dylan, peeking
I'm
in.
traveling this month, so
That makes sense. You and you've got your lunch tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah, lunch is always important. GP Vegas last time was subpar. You went 6-1 and dropped to go gamble. None of that sounds subpar.
Not to me.
None. I couldn't say any of that sounds subpar to me, but I hope that you're all having a fun time. Let me know how you are all doing in chat. I think we're just waiting for another match.
Yeah, I believe. Well, there's only 2 left, and I believe they were both on game 3. So
it
it should
does.
be done somewhat shortly. We had Grixis Control versus Death Shadow going on.
That would be
and
Troy then?
Dredge versus Burn, I believe, still.
Dredge versus Burn.
It
I'm
wasn't
surprised that one
Troy,
didn't
it
go a bit sooner.
was... I cannot remember. It wasn't Troy.
Was it Ron?
No.
Okay. You're doing pretty gas. I'm going to assume that's good, because it's always good. Plus, you're just awesome. Thanks for being who you are most of the
You're
rest.
all awesome.
Yeah. You're a great mod. Everyone else is a great person. Ian on Kiki?
Ian is on Kiki, I believe.
Ooh, so possibly
I
that.
saw Birds of Paradise from afar, so
And
I
what
made
are
an
you playing?
assumption. I'm playing Death Shadow,
Are you?
I am.
Which version?
the Gen D version.
I like that one. It's my preferred.
I was gonna
Gen
play
version.
Esper Control at first, but I was late to the first round, and if I had an opponent, I wanted to play a faster deck so I could get my round in. And then I didn't bring Esper, so
Peace for life. Thank you so much for that follow. That's a sub. That's a sub using Twitch Prime. Thank you so
Oh,
much, Peace
thank
for
you.
life. You're awesome and amazing, and I gotta love Peace. Give Peace a
Should we
chance.
do a Boros fist bump?
God, that felt so Boros. Man, I'm ready to go fight crime. How about you?
I am ready.
Let's go take out those Demir Slum.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Blue players. Ugh.
Ugh. Ah.
I'm like the most blue player ever.
I'm
Not
not.
the most ever, but I'm pretty blue.
You're feeling a bit blue. Now
I go
listen
all
up.
over the
Here's a
place.
story. It's about a little guy, and he lives in a blue world.
Tell me about it.
Well, all night, all day and all night, everything that you see is just blue. It's like you, inside and outside.
I was like happy, and now I'm just sad because it's sad too.
You're the first year to pronounce your name correctly. A, I'm so happy to hear that, and B, I'm so sad to hear that because it seems
And C, I'm not surprised because TJ's a professional.
this is a professional stream. Oh goodness. Can we get that Kiki Cord deck on camera? You don't think you've made it clear enough that you're a Cord fanboy in this chat.
So he's not a Cord fanboy. It doesn't look like we have any in chat. So.
I think they're asking to get on camera because they want it to lose. Is
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
getting
what it
there.
looks like.
I don't fully understand what's happening right now. I don't know. Real Arsenal Munch, A for effort. I don't know. I guess not an execution. That seems reasonable, right? It didn't really come out right. That was a face that was in two places at once. If this
Yeah.
was a Harry Potter book, one would say that it splinched itself.
Yes.
You weren't ready for that reference, were you?
No.
That's okay.
I had to think about it.
It's reasonable. It's super reasonable. Are you excited for round 2? And are you excited?
I'm excited because I get to play round 2.
And you get to play some Death Shadow. Have you gotten to play much of it yet?
I've played it in 2 events and been mediocre good both times.
Mediocre good is about where I expect you to
Not
be.
great. It's a hard deck to pilot.
It is. It is. You have a lot of discard that you have to actually sequence pretty properly, and then you have to always keep an eye on both Delirium and you got to keep an eye on your Tarmogoyf counts.
And your life total.
Plus, your life total is a tricky thing to balance. Most people, like, at least all of my practice is in keeping my life total from
Yeah.
a life perspective.
I just give it away.
Well, that's only in Magic, so...
Yeah.
But it's like a complete shift, because once you're out of Magic, it's all about keeping it.
Yeah, so it's really hard to balance that.
Exactly. You gotta find the right... balance.
But, I don't know. Been a lot of close losses and stuff, so... Hard to tell. Probably because I'm a bad pilot.
Anthe, Kiki Court is sweet. I'm also a big fan of the deck. I have no problems with putting it on camera. I am a big fan of that one. I'm a big fan of Ian playing it. And Kiki Court is just a sweet deck. I recommend it. I recommended it to someone 4 days ago.
I've played it once or twice.
Have you?
Yeah.
You've played something similar to it longer than that.
Yeah. I probably played Kiki Cord. I don't know. I played hundreds of games with it because it was the online deck I had for the longest time. And then, yeah, the Teamer Evolution deck for a long time as well.
And then you had to go Brain in a Jar for GPLA.
Yeah, that was fun, though. I got judge called every single round.
Almost every single round.
Yeah, so that was a thing. And I got to appeal a judge, too.
That's true. Wait, did I get to an appeal a judge? I did. I got to an appeal a judge in Vancouver.
For what? I don't remember.
I got to appeal a judge for a skull crack on
I
a
remember
Beretta Forge Tender.
I was there, too. I think I was standing there, and I was like, the judge is wrong.
Yep, I skull cracked, and they were like, well, it's, the damage, it doesn't deal the damage because it's prevented, so it doesn't take any. And I was like, appeal.
Yep.
And, so their Beretta Forge Tender died.
Yeah, which was correct.
Yep.
Mine was having Brain in a Jar, and people didn't think I could play Beck and Call fused off of it. And I continued to do so.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any Grixis Delver around? There actually might be. There's 2 players out there who have historically been on Grixis decks.
Yeah,
Troy might be on Grixis Delver.
Troy is on Jun Death Shadow, yeah. And then Kevin, I thought was Grixis Control, but he might have been Delver. I actually am not positive.
He's been on Grixis Control historically. I wouldn't be surprised if he's been testing
He's
into
been
it.
doing Delver more recently, though, as well, so.
Okay. But yeah, fun interaction. Beck and Call is a fuse card, and one of the spells has a converted mana cost of 2.
Yep.
So if you play a Brain in a Jar, and you activate it with the counters at 2, then you can cast that from your hand without paying its mana cost, and you can choose to fuse it. So you put in 4 birds, and you draw 4 cards. Round 2's up. Harry, good luck.
That's my time.
Have some fun.
Alright.
And let's see what we can get out on the camera. I know there's a couple of people keeping their eyes open. Judge every single round. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining. Let's get ready for round 2. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. Can we all feel the hype? I can certainly feel it. Let's feel it together. Everybody, wherever you are, raise your hand and high-five the screen with me. There we go.
Yeah, check
Coleman's
that out.
going to jump in and ruin it.
Yep, sorry.
Thank you so much. I also enjoy this jacket. I wear it sometimes to keep warm, and other times I wear it to
True
look
story.
cool, because I am, as always, inspired by Joe Cool himself.
Yeah, but crucially, you never wear it to feel warm and look cool.
No, never.
One or the other.
Yeah, warm, cool. Completely different thing.
Oh, no. Oh, it's back one. Yeah. Are they recorded or is it online?
So,
So I've got your ranking.
okay.
You've got Alex facing the wall. And you've got Troy on the other side.
Okay, and what's Alex playing?
He's playing Mono Blue Fairies.
I love this already.
I thought you would.
Okay. And
Troy's
Troy?
on Death Shadow.
Which one? Jump?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah, I saw a look card.
Is he running that terrible card?
Which one?
Any of them?
Probably, yeah.
No, the kill spell?
Oh, no.
Okay.
He's not playing.
Okay. I was just worried. I was
I
worried that he
wanted
might be...
him to, but he's not playing.
Okay, so he's wise. So we've got Mono Blue Fairies in the field. That is enough to make me excited. And it's going to be going up against the fearsome Death Shadow. If ever there was a test in the format right now, this is it. So, Spellstutter Sprite in the Mono Blue Fairies in the hands of Alex on the left side of the camera. Plus, it will be going up against Troy on Death Shadow, or Jund Shadow, or Shadow Jund is what we'll call it. Shadow Jund. I love it. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to give a big win to Shadow Jund in this one. The amount of discard in that is probably just going to devastate the Mono Blue Fairies deck because it can take down any of those value flyers before they have any kind of chance to impact the board. So that does seem like a good way to go about it. But I'm excited, and it seems like a good time to remind everybody. We always do try and be positive. These players do us a favor by playing on the camera. And in general, if we do have constructive criticism, it should be done constructively and kindly. But otherwise, it should all be done in a pretty positive manner. And the players are doing us a favor, and they're having fun. This is a local store. We'll see you down there. Woo! Woo! Playing with their own playmat. I'm cool with it. It's also, like, bright yellow. I can dig that. So, we have got double Mishra's Bauble. Troy's going to take a moment to look at the top of his own library first, probably deciding whether or not he wants to fire this off. I'm a little bit surprised that he did this before playing his fetch, because what he could have done is if he had another land in hand, potentially tried to set up a turn if he liked that card away. And looks like we are going to go with the Fairy Miscreant. And I am going to be happy with myself for remembering the name of this card. Go me. Go me, TJ. So, Fairy Miscreant coming down on the battlefield, and when it enters the battlefield, if you control another creature named Fairy Miscreant, you draw a card. Does not, but this is going to be a 1/1 flyer to start applying just a little bit of that pressure. And looks like Troy's going to fall down to 17 off of this fetch into a shock. Alex still at 20, and it looks like the shock is actually going to put Troy down to 15. With a, that's, okay, because he cycled the the Street Wraith. So we're going to Fatal Push the Fairy Miscreant at the end step. We're going to draw into our turn, and we do have a Thoughtseize, so could end up dropping down this fetch land, could fire off the Overgrown Tomb into one of these. He does have a Tarmogoyf that he could go for as well. Might save that a turn to try and take this down and attack Alex's hand just a little bit. Okay. Dutch, Alex is new to the stream. He's never been on the stream before, and I am perfectly fine with him having his own playmat on there for the first time. I'm just happy that he's here, and whatever makes him comfortable. I am okay with it. So we've got the Death Shadow coming down, and we might see it accompanied by this Thoughtseize. Being able to go down to 10 for this, which is going to turn it into a 3/3, which might beat a lot of this in combat. And we do have... Ooh... Okay, so we've got a Ghost Quarter Vapor Snag. Spellstutter Sprite appears to be a Scion of Una, I think, or is that a Familiar's Ruse? Mana Leak as well. That is a Scion of Una, I believe. And I think we're going to take the Vapor Snag. It's the only removal spell. Everything else Troy can outclass in combat. So all he needs to do is start attacking, and Alex is going to be forced to take a defensive position. Troy doesn't even really need to start casting spells into this, but he could start utilizing things like the Kolaghan's Command if Alex tries to use the Spellstutter Sprite at any point. If Alex taps out, then Troy is likely going to fire off this Kolaghan's Command to kill a creature, maybe discard one out of Alex's hand, or possibly buy back the Street Wraith to cycle it again, lose a little bit of life, and draw into another card. What's up, Zach? It's good to see you. How you doing today? So we have a Ghost Quarter on the field for Alex, unable to cast a good amount. Troy is likely going to try and capitalize on this turn. We could see him try and fire off this Liliana while he can, especially putting it down for a -2 is going to help control this board pretty well. I might almost just +1 it because the Fairy Miscreant isn't able to affect the Liliana too much, and I think attacking the hand is going to be a lot more impactful. But I think we're going to take 3 damage from Alex's side of things, and we're going to fall down to 9 for Troy. This looks to be potentially, we're going to fetch to play down this Liliana. I actually kind of like going for a plus ability here, but it looks like we're actually going to minus it, just get rid of the Fairy Miscreant and not deal with it for now. Alex is now in a position of not having a whole lot of blockers, not having a whole lot of options. Was that a Quickling in hand? I don't believe so. I believe there's a Scion of Una in hand, as well as a Spellstutter Sprite. That might be a Quickling. You actually might be right there. We may have drawn a Quickling. I think you're right. I think that you are right. That actually works out pretty cool with the Fairy Miscreant. I'll give it that. So we've got a pretty solid attack here. Alex at 17 at the moment, and it looks like we are okay with taking 4. We're going to fall to 13, and then we're going to plus it up, and we're forcing Alex to start having to play anything. Troy's still got 3 mana up, so he can utilize this Kolaghan's Command if Alex ever tries to tap out for anything. Putting down this forest means that Alex is likely going to try and do something like the Scion of Una at the end step, so that he can then untap, play some more fairies, which would then be hexproof, but Troy likely going to answer that with his own tech, and the Quickling will not be able to save it. Otherwise, the spells just don't line up. He's got 3 mana, a couple 2 mana spells, and the Spellstutter Sprite and the Quickling. Oh, actually, the Quickling was discarded, so what is that last card? Not quite able to tell what the last card in hand for Alex is. From Troy's side of the things, he does have a Tarmogoyf in hand, but I think that I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. You've got a 4/4 on the battlefield. You've got a Liliana. I don't think that I'd really try to do too much with this, because it's completely on Alex to respond. And you have a Kolaghan's Command, which works out well for that. So we're going to fall to 9 as this Death Shadow takes this down, and if Alex tries to flash in the Scion of Una, which it looks like he's about to, Troy's likely going to, still in the end step, Kolaghan's Command that, and actually have Alex discard is my expected play. Looks like that is, and I do think that I see a discard clause as well. Doesn't need the Street Wraith too much, and we are going to discard. That's a Mistbind Click. That is not going to be too good. I'd probably end up pitching that. Alright, so the Mistbind Click goes away, and we have a Spellstutter Sprite and a Mana Leak. Neither of these line up too well against the Death Shadow. Did draw into, I believe, a Quickling, but this game 1 is not going in Alex's favor. Troy, starting things off with a little bit of that hand disruption, was able to take down the Vapor Snag, which was one of the things that could apply pressure, or at least could slow down Troy's pressure and give Alex a chance to respond to it. Troy taking that one down with the Thoughtseize, and then just having a steady clock over the course of the rest of the game. Solid overall. Discarding the Quickling means that Troy knows what is left in hand at the moment. Both of these cards that he saw early on. We might see Alex try and flash this in as a blocker, but it looks like that is not the case, and we're going to fall to 5. Alex drawing into an island means that he could have Spellstutter Sprite and Mana Leak open. Could potentially go for the Spellstutter Sprite as a blocker and try to buy a turn. Can also protect removal for it with that Mana Leak. The only issue at that point is that he would have to flash it in response to the Liliana. And it looks like Alex is more interested in pitching the island to the Liliana. And I think we're going to see this flashed in, holding up a single blue mana from Alex. So, he's fine with it. It's going to block. This is going to buy a turn. We will see if it is enough to give Alex an out. Daniel's Blur, it's good to see you. How is your day going? Troy dropping down, and he is, I think, going to go for a Traverse the Ulvenwald, maybe into a backup Death Shadow. Strikes me as unnecessary still. He's got 2 Traverse the Ulvenwalds and a Tarmogoyf. I think I might still just not fire any of them off. We're going to plus this up, and I've still got a 4/4. But it looks like we are going to ensure that we have 2 close to lethal attackers. The Tarmogoyf at this point is, I believe, we've got sorcery, artifact, creature, land. The Vapor Snake is an instant, so we've got 5/6 to my knowledge. And it looks like that is the case. Oh, this is round 2. I should update that. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. To all 167 of you, you're all the best and amazing, and I thank you all for being here. So that one's a lethal attacker. Alex is going to need to respond to that one. A Mana Leak isn't going to be enough, and a Quickling actually isn't enough either. So this is going to be the end of this game. Alex picking up the cards, and we're going to move into a game 2. Zach, those hearts go all around. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. So, Troy is going to take game 1, powerful disruption, followed up by just one large creature and never having to cast anything against all the counter spells that Alex had. Full Nelson, hello to you. I hope your day is well, and I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Indeed, it is a yellow playmat, but hey, we are going to be okay with it. Alex, brand new to this stream and potentially to the store, and I am perfectly happy with whatever it is that makes Alex comfortable, because of course it is pretty odd and I imagine a little bit intimidating getting on the camera for the first time. Now, I've been getting in front of this camera for the last, I don't know, 18 or 19 months, so at this point I've gotten used to it, but certainly I do sympathize with the players the first time that they are getting on that camera. You are good. Hope things are well for me. Things are well for me. I'm doing some house sitting, which is why I'm not streaming from home this week too much. Miss New, it's good to see ya. Fantastic song. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a wonderful time. We've got a Teamer Battle Rage. Looks to be taking those ones out. I think he's deciding that he won't need them too much, doesn't need the free win potential, and they're not too great against all these counterspells, since he'll likely just end up holding onto them anyway. Looks like I do see some Dragon's Claw. That's pretty cool. I do like Dragon's Claw. Maybe some Pithy Needles coming in out of the sideboard for Alex could potentially name the Liliana. Could also name one of those fetches if he can catch Troy on that one. Does strike me as unusual. But yeah, things are going great for me. I'm just getting super psyched for that. Oh, Todd. Todd, are you still in the chat? It's okay if you aren't, but if you are, I forgot to answer you. I found out today I was going to check something, and I was going to get back to you. And I found out a little bit ago, and I was going to get back to you if you're here. Okay. So, putting that sideboard away, and Alex is getting ready to be on the play. Looks like no Todd probably went to sleep. It is about 11 in his time, and he stays up pretty late every other day of the week. Plus, he's got school tomorrow, I imagine. So, Alex, gonna be on the play, moving in. Cheers. I do love cheers. Cheers to you as well. I don't know. Wait, there we go. Cheers to you as well. Wherever you are and whoever you are, keep doing awesomeness. What is that clicking noise? I don't know. Unless, of course, you mean this clicking noise. And if so, I apologize. It would be this. When is it getting the banhammer? I don't think it is, but also I tend to not like, I tend to not do band discussions here. I don't find them overly productive. Except in particularly dire circumstances. Argentina? That's fantastic, Daniel Splitter. So we've got a Thoughtseize coming down for Troy. Alex putting down an island, not much else. We've got a Spellstutter Sprite, Mana Leak, Quickling, Spellstutter Sprite, and a Mistbind Click. Could take down the Mana Leak if you're really concerned about playing something like a Tarmogoyf next turn. Otherwise, probably going to take... Alright, so we're taking the Spellstutter Sprites. Troy might just be sitting on a lot of discard, and maybe his intent is to Inquisition... Ooh. Next turn, if Alex goes for this, Troy could Inquisition, drop down a land, and then play the Death Shadow? No, because he would be at 13 there. What's up, Classy Sherlock? It's good to see you. Actually, TJ is not USMNT. TJ is not. I just find that it is always, almost always useful to have one on you. Well, it's not almost always useful, but it's occasionally useful to have one. And it looks like we're going to Spellstutter Sprite to take down the Mishra's Bauble, so this Inquisition is going to look pretty fine at that point. We also do have a backup Mishra's Bauble. But nah, actually never have smoked. That is exactly it, Top Cat Games. That is 100% the reason. We're going to take a look, and I expect maybe the Spellstuff Sprite, now that we have another one on the battlefield here. Do I like puns? Always a fan. Always a fan. Ooh. Might take the Mana Leak. So Troy has got a Maelstrom Pulse in hand. He might get greedy and take the Mana Leak with the intent of Maelstrom Pulsing both of the Spellstutter. Oh no, that's a Pestermite, not a Spellstutter Sprite. Never mind. Dubes, it's good to see ya. What am I drinking? Generic brand energy drink, of course. Burn player to the core? I suppose. We are at 13 from Troy's side of things. Still looking okay. Not a whole lot of pressure being developed yet. So Alex still at a pretty comfortable life total. Yeah, the hand disruption in this matchup is just bonkers. So let's see what Troy does. He could end up firing off this Mishra's Bauble just to get a redraw on his turn, so he can try and find some way to deal damage to himself. But he hasn't yet, and I'm not quite sure what he's saving it for. That was a pretty good draw. Okay. So probably we could just cycle the Street Wraith. That does put you to 10. It does make Death Shadow able to come in and survive. The big issue there is that your Fatal Push cannot fully protect it, and it looks like we're actually willing to hold on to it. So we are at 12. Looks like we might have a response. It's going to be a Quickling in response to that. A Fatal Push on it. This is going to be a blowout. Alex is going to lose the Quickling as well. Troy with a 1-1 has... I actually like this. He's keeping the Street Wraith in hand. It's got cycling, pay 2 life. So you can pay 2 life, discard it from his hand, and draw a card. Now this can happen at any time he has priority, including on Alex's turn. Which means that Troy is sitting with a pretty nifty combat trick in hand. He's going to take a look at his top card, move into the next turn. In situations like this, I actually would have liked Troy taking a look at Alex's hand, because it didn't matter. He was going to draw that card no matter what. And having a little bit of access to what Alex will have next turn is, I think, a little bit more reasonable. But with the Street Wraith sitting as an option, it means that for every attack that you get, he can just sit there with this constant combat trick. And if Alex ever tries to either deal 1 damage to it or try and go for a blocking situation with a double block, Troy is able to just pay that 2 life, cycle it pretty quickly. And in the meantime, he gets to stay at 12, both of these players with a 1-1 at the moment. Troy can fire off this Mishra's Bauble again, however. Okay. How does the Shadow Jund deck work? So it actually is pretty close to a Jund deck. What it does is it is extremely low to the ground with 1 and 2 mana spells and a couple of 3 mana spells, but otherwise what it's trying to do is be as efficient as possible, running all the hand disruption in the world. It's running 4 Inquisitions, 4 Thoughtseizes. It's also running a Liliana. It's running a couple of Kolaghan's Command. It's running Collective Brutality. It's got all kinds of things. And it ends up trying to value its life total, just take it down little by little. And it looks like we do have a remand coming down. Alex is going to draw a card. We do still have a little bit of damage coming in. And I believe we are going to fall down to 17 on Alex's side of the battlefield. That dice still lingering a little bit off the top because of that playmat. But luckily, all the board state has been pretty easy and reasonable so far. So Alex with 2 mana up does still have that Mana Leak in hand. Actually, I don't think so. The Mana Leak was taken off of the Inquisition. So we're going to swing for 1, and we're actually going to make this Death Shadow just a little bit bigger. It's now a 3/3. Can attack in. We'll see if Alex goes for the value block. This looks pretty good. Daniel's Blur, thank you so much for the follow. We're going to attack in with this one. We see a Vapor Snake come down. He's going to lose a life. He's going to go down to 9, and we might just see him drop 2 4/4 Death Shadows. Another powerful engine in this deck is the fact that it has got Traverse the Ulvenwald in a pretty good way to create Delirium, which means that it can actually act as both a Death Shadow, it can also act as a Tarmogoyf, and in very rare circumstances can actually act as a way to get a Street Wraith to lose another 2 life. Play Ranger of Eos with Death Shadow, 2 to the Shadows, look at the value. That is actually getting run in Abzan Death Shadow. Basically, every version of Death Shadow is getting tested these days. I've even seen a Teamer one, which was frankly awful. It wasn't awful. It was just really, really not anything I'd ever be interested in playing ever. But it's probably reasonable. It could probably have also been tuned significantly better. Sloney310, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's a pleasure having you here. You are a rock star, and I look forward to seeing you more in the future. To be named, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's a pleasure having you here. Okay. Does Death Shadow Jund run any Coil Guns command? Yes, it does. Often, too. It also works as a really good way to re-buy cards, so you can actually buy back Street Wraiths and Death Shadows and Tarmogoyfs, and when you're only running the 8 threat cards plus the Traverse, it's really excellent to... No, it is running Death Shadow. It's actually 4-color. It's actually 4-color, and they're just trying to be... It's actually a list I saw. It was a full article on Modern Nexus. So, we're going to go for the chump blocks here. Alex trying to preserve that life total a little bit. Does have a Quickling, could try and re-buy back some of these. And let's see if that is the case. We might see a Fatal Push try and take it down instead. That does mean that Alex is going to have to bounce back the other... Ooh, and just chooses... That's interesting. That is interesting that he didn't choose to bring back the other Fairy Miscreant, because I don't think that it targets. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. New. I am also a big fan of this channel. Is there going to be any Kiki Cord? We can do our best. It is in the field. Matthias McKinley, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It is a pleasure having you here. You are a rock star. So we've got a Traverse coming down, and it looks like we're actually finding a fetch land, trying to get to that third land for that Maelstrom Pulse. But yeah, I love doing this stream. I do it 3 times a week right now, plus I stream from home. You feel like Esper Shadow's the best list? Personally, I think that that's reasonable. I think that I am personally 100% Jund. At least, if I were playing it, I would be playing Jund. I think Grixis is the other one that I would play between them. Yep, Liliana the Last Hope is also phenomenal. It also kills a ton of relevant threats. Death Shadow, it kills Dark Confidants. Ooh, and we're going to tap one of them. I do, to be named. I do. I'm sure Doro is going to actually link it for me, because Doro, or mostly Lost, are both pretty... amazing. All of our mods are just drop dead incredible. Mods, wherever you are, if you're in here, you're amazing. Tower Fire coming down. We've got a big swing. And we're going to attack for 4. So we are down to 13 for Alex. Troy still sitting at 9. Alex starting to run out of resources. Was able to clog up that board for a long time. But it's just starting to run out of steam. Was able to use that to buy a little bit of time. Has got 2 misbutton clicks, which are not functioning. Kazrak Not Real, thank you so much for hitting that sub button. I appreciate it. That's 2 months in a row. You are a rock star, and I look forward to seeing you more in the future. Thank you for your continued support. It means the world to me. You like the Sultai variants? That one is pretty sweet. It is sweet. I will give it that. I'm just not 100% sure it's what I would be on. Okay. What's up, Liam Khaled? It has been a long time. You played the Eldrazi for the first time this week. This place is the grossest thing you've ever had in this game. Oh, man. I don't know. Like, the Sultai seems sweet. It just seems like it's less refined. It seems like it's pushing in too many directions, and it feels significantly less streamlined anytime that I'm watching it go off. Which doesn't make it not sweet. We're going to do 2 damage in a discard, or are we going to buy back? Okay, so we're going to take that one down, and we are going to fall to 1, I believe. And we are in trouble. So we've got 4 mana, but the Mistbind Click not able to champion anything at the moment. Can tap down the land, but that's not enough. We do have a Remand, which isn't enough. We're just going to attack for lethal. A Remand, 2 Mistbind Clicks, not enough, and Troy's going to take this one down in 2. As far as Path to Exile, Condemn. That's true. I will say that Condemn is pretty funny in the mirror. That's pretty great. I still think that I'm in Jund. Jund with the Lingering Soul Splash is pretty sweet. I'm a fan of that. Okay. Tebin, that should be under your settings. Mostly lost, I know. I know. The people picking the matches are going for some a little bit lopsided matchups, but all of our backup matches have been pretty solid. But let's head back into the booth and get ready to see if we can find another backup match here at Geek Fortress. Round 2 of 4. Are you excited? I'm excited. Everybody be excited because excitement is fun. It's exhilarating. It's exciting. And it's, of course, awesome at all times. We'll see you up there. Thank you everybody for joining. My name's TJ. This is the Geek Fortress stream located at Geek Fortress. I bet you couldn't guess that. Well, I bet you can. It's at the name of the store. It's up there. Plus, down below you can find a link, I believe. But if not, check out GeekFortressGames.com, the website of the store that hosts this stream. What do I think about Bantal Eldrazi? The deck is sweet. It's awesome. It's a little bit inconsistent, but when it's on, it's straight fire. And when it isn't, it's still reasonably powerful. I think the deck is pretty darn tootin' sweet. Any Skred tonight? I don't think so. At least no one's using my Skred deck, but someone else has been playing it recently. So it is possible that Skred is in the field. You got a switch today. That's exciting. Very, very cool. Is excitement exciting? Yes, it is, Peace for Life. I have to say, it certainly is. No love for Sultai Shadow. I'm not a big fan of it. It's sweet. It does the same thing that all the Shadow decks do. Like, it does cool stuff. It's just anytime that I'm watching it getting played, and I haven't played it myself, so obviously these are all the comments of an observer. But every time that I see it, it just feels like it's in too many directions. You've got the counter spells, and you've got the disruption, and you've got the fixing, and you've got the Snapcaster value with Kolaghan's Command, which is super cool, but it kind of seems like it's just distracting you from the actual game plan. And all of them just strike me as being like, Jund just seems like when it sits down at the table, it has got an exact game plan every time. It's the best Delirium enabler because you have Tarfire. It has a few ways to rebuy back things with Liliana the Last Hope and Kolaghan's Command. It's got the best traverse game plan to just get one of these threats out, and it's got the most hand disruption to just clear the way. Like, I think that Jund is just the most straightforward at what it does. It strikes me as being the most streamlined and just... it does what it sets out to do. A lot of the other lists strike me as kind of trying to next level each other a lot more than the Jund one does, and I think that ends up pulling them in these weird directions to where they've got a little bit more to do more things, but they end up just... I don't know, it's casting a wider net with bigger holes, right? And it doesn't thrill me as much. You've been showing up as Skred, but you're 6, you're not playing today. I gotcha. Skred is sweet, though. What do I think of Red Black Burn? You haven't been in the Magic game for a while. You've never been in the Modern game. I feel like it'd be a fun deck to mess around with. It can definitely be sweet. You get some cool pieces. If you add in white, you can get Boros Charm and Helix. Or if you go Jund Burn, you can add in green and get a Tarka's Command and Destructive Reverie on the sideboard. Both of those are pretty great. I think that it's generally, as long as your budget allows for it, and that's a very real consideration anytime that you're playing Magic, that if budget is less of a concern, then I think that you can afford a third color fairly easily. Though the more conventional burn deck is red-white, and the Naya with red-white splashing green. Okay. Snarf, I have to agree. I mean, Jack of all trades decks can be sweet. Kikakord is a great example of one. There are some very cool things out there in the world doing things. But I'm going to see right now how the backup match is coming along. Excuse me for just a moment. Hey, Troy. I'm working on it. I am working on it. You're going to play Affinity. You don't know how to play it, but let's have fun.
For you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. 5-color burn all day. You're going to play Affinity. Affinity is sweet. It's actually the first deck that I played in Modern. I played it for a long time. I competed with the deck for about 2.5 years. Had some pretty solid success, at least on a local level with it. And it's actually what I was playing primarily before I started streaming, which is when basically all of my Modern play, and really Magic play in general, completely took a dive. That coat is louder than my voice. Maybe. But it is sweet, and it's comfy, and I like it. I can certainly project my voice a bit more. So let me know if this is a little bit better. I'll try and project it much. Ooh, look at you. You are swift. Tell me about what you got.
I got a Mason.
Where's he?
They haven't moved yet, but I got a Mason versus a Coleman.
Nice. Blue-white control versus
Naya, whatever.
Naya midrange.
Sure.
Thought we just did Modern on Thursdays? We've never done Modern on Thursdays.
That would be another store.
That would be Card Kingdom that they're thinking of.
Mugu also does them.
Yeah, but Card Kingdom streams it.
That's true. Alright, so Mason's on the wall. Coleman's facing the wall.
Mixing this up with Card Kingdom. Not insulting, but not right.
I'm gonna hang out with you this match.
Thank you.
You look bored.
I'm never bored.
You look bored.
That's hurtful. Alright, so what game are we going to?
Game 3.
Ooh, the tense game.
The one for all the marbles.
It's true. I'm going to do Chandra Torch of Defiance because I know it's in the deck. This deck, Mason's deck's always interesting.
They always have something spicy.
This one's got all kinds of stuff in it. It's got Bonfire, it's got Chandra Torch of Defiance, it's got a Nahiri, it's got Scavenger Ooze, it's got
It's the most mid-range of aggro decks.
It's just got everything. It's just got a little bit of everything. It's got Wild Nakaddles. It's basically if you took like the small zoo decks and if you took the big zoo decks and you took a bunch of cards in the middle too. It's just a bunch of cool stuff.
Added some mid-range Nahiri.
I apologize, you like both of us? That's fine. Don't feel bad actually. It's all good. Card team was cool with us. We're working on actually trying to work with them more. You ready to head on down?
Let's do it.
Rock and roll forever. All right, so the players lining up as Merfolk being played. I believe it is actually.
Yes.
Is Jamie's playing?
Jamie is here.
All right, so we do have Merfolk in the field.
We also have fairies,
Ooh.
lantern.
Ooh.
Um,
Jesse, it's good to see you.
there's
GPT this Sunday, Peter, or is it also Saturday?
it's on Saturday.
It's on Saturday.
There's a GPT here
On Saturday.
on Saturday.
Oh, then I'm not streaming it.
Okay. I'll do the Saturday night stream.
I will do the Saturday night stream. I can't, like, I actually have plans.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be rocking the GPT.
Yeah. So I cannot stream the GPT this Saturday. So I lied earlier, there's no GPT this weekend to be streamed. I thought it was on Sunday.
I wish.
Ah, well. You'd love to watch Lantern? I'm not sure if we have it out there. I do love watching Lantern, though. I
Oh
like
no,
talking
I
about
lost
Lantern,
to it. It's out there. In fact, it's meeting up on Ad Nauseam right now.
too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Coleman not playing Spice? Trust me, he's playing Spice. This blue-eye control is about as spicy. I mean, you started with a Temple of Enlightenment.
He probably stole it off Moto. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's where Coleman gets his innovation.
No, actually, this one is very much Coleman. The blue-white deck that has been winning is much better than Coleman's list.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh god, going back to old school, just EOT think twice.
Right? That's exactly right. So Mason dropping down a Voice of Resurgence, which is actually going to be pretty solid in this matchup, where Coleman doesn't have a ton of spot removal, though with Path to Exile being one of the main ones, and also Detention Sphere in this deck. Rough ways.
Snapcaster Path is still good.
And there is a path coming down. So Mason's at least going to ramp up, and in this deck, that might actually be a legitimate cost.
Slamming a Nahiri right now would be pretty backbreaking against Coleman.
Or a Chandra Torch of Defiance would be just straight bonkers.
That'd both be very good.
Coleman does actually have a Detention Sphere in hand, I think. Honesty Dragon, thank you so much for joining the Fortnights and hitting that follow button. Oh, that actually might not be... That might be a land that I saw, not a Detention Sphere.
Wildest of Nakaddles.
Which are gonna get blown out by that Supremest of Verdicts.
Or a Detention Spear off the top? No? Darn.
Mm-hmm. Though that looks good. The Condemn looks pretty solid. He might just try and one for one these for a little bit. Does also have a Cryptic command. We could see him go for the ever so bold tap your creatures, draw a card. He's got 2 Cryptics. He could probably afford to lose one, but it looks like that's not the case either. He's just willing to fall down to 15 and put Mason up to 21. Kazali Ambusher. That is a Kazali Pride Mage, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, you're saying Kazali Ambush just got pretty good in this new meta. I see what you're saying.
That's a
That's a Think Twice.
that's a flashback thing.
We're
twice.
flashing back Think Twice on that Wild Nikotl. So it just says draw a card. The Loxodon Smiter hitting the battlefield. It is a 4/4, and we're going to Supreme Verdict to sweep the field. Coleman not finding the answer that he was really looking for there.
That's still a good 2-for-1.
Yeah, did he miss the damage that he took, or did he gain some life for some reason?
I think he missed the damage he took.
Okay, I think he's at 15. You might want to
That's-
ask him if he's at 15.
That's a card.
And a Wild Nikotl coming down.
Coleman, are you sure your life total's at 18?
I'm at 18, he's at 21.
Didn't he attack you with 2 Nikotls?
What?
Didn't he attack you with 2 Nikotls?
One of them got. Oh no, I'm at 15.
Got him.
Okay, not anymore though.
That's just rude. Coleman's getting defiant with us. He's going to go up to 21 to try and match Mason. He also does get 3 of these 1/1s, which he can either use to trade with the Wild Nikotl. The Ajani plussing up, keeping the Celestial Colonnade tapped.
I can't wait to watch this Johnny blow up some lands.
Oh, if only. Ajani blowing up lands would be all that I ever hoped. The only problem is that Colonnade, pretty solid. But if nothing else, Mason needs to come with an answer to those 3 soldiers.
You know he's gonna rip Bonfire off the top.
Of course he's going to rip Bonfire off the top. This is Mason we're talking about. And then he's going to keep the Colonnade tapped.
Okay, that's a blocker. Never
he
mind.
does,
That's
my bad. Let me go with this one instead.
I can't cast the other one, but is this one
If
good?
Coleman's got the Supreme Verdict, actually he could also go for the... If he ever needs to, he could always Cryptic Command and just bounce the Ajani.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it has outs.
Yeah, Coleman's got lots of outs.
They're not good, but they're better than nothing.
When you've got 2 Cryptics in hand, bouncing it and like getting rid of something, and then the problem is that this Thrun is becoming the issue.
Thrun, Thrun, Thrun.
Weak but hilarious.
Yep. Yep. That's what I'm here for.
Thrun for your life.
Thrun for the hills.
Oh goodness.
I've played way too much Rock Band in my life.
That's not possible.
Uh,
So we've got 3 mana. We are going to put down this Brimaz, which is just asking for Snapcaster Supreme. But in the meantime, who's the other person who's funny? This is Troy.
yeah, I'm just a, lonely. Whatever.
Space cowboy.
Yeah.
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 We're going with song references.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
I mean, you kind of have to when you're playing no win conditions, blue-white control.
Mm-hmm.
Sup, chat?
AKA
Peter Parker.
Oh goodness, Troy was the Jund
Yeah.
Shadow player.
Yeah. That's.
And an Elsbeth coming down from Coleman's side of the field. It is a battle of the Planeswalkers. Coleman without Cryptic up this turn. And Coleman under a little bit of pressure from this Wild Nikotl. And so the Cryptic commands, while it tapped them down, Coleman can attack. Oh no, he's just going to keep him back. Mason's got a lot of attackers going on right now.
That's a lot of power, for sure. The token, the Thrun.
You can
and
even
the cat.
minus and kill one of these tokens and then just sweep the Elsbeth.
I think you just kill it on board, right?
Let's see.
Because I think Coleman's gonna jump a token and then kill the Planeswalker, right?
It
Never mind. Called it.
He just did it for 1 though.
Doesn't matter.
Was that for 1?
Yeah. That would have been sick if he did it during Coleman's untapped stab. That would have been sweet.
That would have been so sweet.
That would have been super sweet.
Bonfire. Bonfire. Comes on down, sweeps the token, deals 1 damage to Coleman, who then just bangerings into this Elsbeth. Wow! Oh man, and while we see a path taken down, the Brimaz, and actually the Elspeth is alive?
Yeah. Yeah, Brimaz is kind of saving Elspeth there.
We're gonna...
Go with
Okay,
that,
so
yeah.
we're updating the Elspeth, which is gonna be at 1, but with no tokens to bounce right now.
I guess
Oh, goodness.
you just bounce the dude.
This is new. The deck is pretty sweet. The problem is that I think it's in a slightly weak spot at the moment because of Death Shadow, and Hay Disruption is pretty solid against the Scape Shift variants.
Also, there it is. Like, Colonnade should be tapped, but,
Colonnade ought to be tapped.
and it definitely is now.
Yeah. So we do have one soldier left, which is looking so sweet. Yeah, Mason's been playing Bonfire forever, but it's still sweet. He didn't miracle it. He just paid 3 mana and dealt 1 damage to each creature, or to target player and each creature he controlled.
Like,
There was no miracling of it.
it's still pretty good.
It's still sweet. So we have the Cryptic Command, which bounced the Ajani. Coleman not looking to lose all of his lands, because that Ajani was at ult range. Was
It
about
was.
to do a one-sided Armageddon. In the meantime, we're going to activate this Treetop Village and attack in at it. Ghost Quarter taking it down. Mason, we're going to fetch up a basic. Has the Ajani in hand. Could just play this one down. I think he knew that was going to happen, because otherwise we might have seen him fire off the Raging Ravine, except actually probably the Trample was his reason there.
That's, yeah.
And we're still going to keep it tapped, but I think you are right that Elspeth is about to bounce the soldier, and Ajani is about to fall to the graveyard. The issue with that play is that Mason untaps with 8 damage on the field,
Lots of damage.
and a mystery card.
Lots
And you
of damage.
gotta love a mystery card.
I don't know, if you're playing Cryptic Command, you can beat it.
Modern? This is modern.
I mean, I don't know. My deck's pretty legacy.
Mason could swing for 12 as well if he suspects that Coleman doesn't have anything. And he
I
could
don't-
even put 3 of that towards the Elspeth.
And Mason's putting him in, at least thinking about it, but
Or...
be like, here, answer this one too.
The problem is, so we are going to see it plus. I don't like minusing here because of that Celestial Colonnade.
That's, yeah. Like,
And I like dealing enough damage to also kill the Elspeth right now, just so that it's going to stop capitalizing, because if you can keep this Nahiri alive for any amount of time, that's bonkers. So we've got
the cat.
Vigilance Cat, we're just going to kill the Elspeth, and I think point it all towards Coleman to play around something like a Condemn.
Probably.
Keeping up the 2 mana for a Thrun, notably as well.
Or Snapcaster Path.
Running out of time, though, because of this Ancestral Vision. We do have the untapped Colonnade, but if Coleman uses it to attack, he can't use it to block, and he'll only put the Nahiri down to 2 counters. Coleman does now have an answer to the Raging Ravine.
Which, Coleman's getting aggressive with it.
I dig it. Got 3 mana up. Must be an answer.
Nope, think twice.
Okay. I like this kind of boldness. We're going to plus this one down. We're looking to kill that next turn, but the amount of card advantage being generated right now is just insane.
I think Coleman's actually just has an island in hand.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to swing for 9?
Yep.
It's a bash for 9. Coleman can prevent 4 of it if he chooses to, which would put him down to, and it looks like that is not the case. He is looking for an out, and that out is maybe a Supreme Verdict. Maybe Wrath of God actually came in out of, is very possibly in the deck. And I think that's a Boros Charm. Mason might fire off this Boros Charm to make permanency controls indestructible.
That's still a 1-for-1 in Coleman's favor.
I know, but it's hilarious. The funny part is that both of them are resilient to board wipes, but this play strikes me as slightly less.
It's,
So we're just going to
Yeah.
kill that one, but now Coleman's got 3 lands, and Mason's about to attack for lethal using this Raging Ravine.
he has the lands to activate it, right?
He has the lands in hand too. Yeah, he's got them. There isn't an answer to this hand. This is just a sweep. Or is it? Yeah, this is actually exactly enough. The Boros Charm also represented 4 damage attack. Just had to go in
Yeah.
face.
Like,
Let's see. Oh, he took... Oh, is that a 1/1 cat? I thought it was a 2/2.
no,
He's at 1. Never mind. I thought that he might have... If he draws into like a Sphinx's Rev and a Path, he might be okay.
Or timely.
Oh my goodness.
Timely.
Okay, so the cat is a 1/1. How many times have I used that mode? A decent number, actually. Yeah, I've... less than any of the others. Less than any of the others.
I've used the double strike to, prowess triggers and do a bazillion.
He likely did draw for turn. He might have just done it all in the same action to draw 4 cards.
Like, Coleman does... Oh, yeah, no, he's played 1 card up to 4. Yeah, he's drawn.
I thought the cat was a 2-power as well. Turns out it's a 1/1, which makes a lot more sense, because otherwise that card would be even more bonkers. But Brimez is already super sweet. More lands in hand for Mason. He is struggling right now, but the best part is that his best play is probably just to keep bashing in.
Keep serving with the land.
I mean, there's not a whole lot else to do. So we're just going to buy ourselves some time and only take 1, fall to 6, lose all of these.
Sure.
We've still got the mana to regenerate the Thrun. Can Coleman find an answer? Is Mason's just continual pressure going to do it?
Well, he has the Verdict and Revelation, so...
But even the Verdict isn't quite enough. We could Sphinx's Rev. But the Verdict doesn't kill either the Raging Ravine or the Thrun. So say he goes for a Sphinx's Rev for 2 right now, he goes up to 8, still lethal amount of damage on board. So if he does, he needs to find something like a Timely Reinforcements, or he needs to find something. Because right now, those 2 cards, while they're 2 of the best cards in the situation, they line up exactly wrong right now.
Do you have a Snapcaster in the deck?
We're going to Sphinx's Rep for 2, and I think we're more looking for paths and answers than we're trying to gain life. We're at 8. Mason's got 9 on the field. He drew, I believe, lands. And that may have been a Ghost Quarter. And if it was a Ghost Quarter, that's insane. That looks like a Ghost Quarter to me.
Do you just untap and just cast Revelation for a bazillion instead?
I think that was the debate.
Like,
the problem is that even if you do that, you're at 6 and you can gain 6 life. So you end up gaining 6 life, you go to 12, and there's actually 12 damage on the field as well. So we have the Ghost Quarter. Which...
Oh, he's using to blow up the forest to Supreme Verdict away.
He took the gamble that Mason didn't have any other basic forests.
Well, you watched him earlier Ghost Quarter away and failed to find.
So he wouldn't blow up your forest Ghost Quarter? Is he assuming that he's got more answers to the Raging Ravine than the Thrun? Because that's probably true, but both are ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
And a Casting Wolfrun for potential blowouts.
Nah, it's okay.
Snap Path. Do we have it?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Are we coming back for this?
It's how you do it.
God!
It's how you do it.
Coleman! Coleman, you fiend!
Couldn't you have floated the green? Use the mana to reactivate the ability on Thrun, though?
He could have, but he didn't.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, absolutely could have.
Just wanted to make sure.
No, but he didn't, so it worked.
That's fair. That's fair.
Since we have a Kitchen Finks coming down, Coleman going up. Oh, the plays. The sweet plays. We're going to Lightning Bolt that one, but the Kitchen Finks is actually the better clock, and if he removes it, he loses some of that life. We are looking A-okay. Well, no, if you just activate Regeneration, it lasts for the entirety of the turn. It says the next time that this creature would die this turn, regen.
Yep.
Remove all damage from it, remove it from combat, and tap it. Oh. Are we picking it up?
It looks
We've
like
got the Colonnade. I think we're picking it up, and Coleman just took that in 3. Yep, and I think Coleman just mentioned that to Mason.
It's funny. They're talking about the regeneration shield.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're mentioning that to Mason right now, and I think he's saying,
Yep.
for next time. It happens.
It does.
It happens. I mean, I will say, who isn't a little bit flustered when they have their basic forest Ghost Quarter?
Yeah.
Options if you don't have colonnades. Depends on the deck. Creeping Tar Pit?
If you're trying to play anything Jeskai colored, you really don't have any replacements. You really don't. There's like Fairy Conclave.
Yeah. As far as them not shaking hands, I think they may have, but if they didn't, it's because they're both good friends and they're probably just talking instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
they're probably thinking like, what do you guys want at the bar later?
I'm certain that there's no ill will happening right now.
Probably not.
Alright, let's head on up and let's see what else. Oh man, we're about to have round
three.
Round 3. We'll see you up there. He's trying to get out of here, but he's having some trouble.
You know what? Bye, guys.
Bye, Troy. Thanks for stopping by. So we're going to get ready for round 3 here. You're pretty sure that the Green White Value Town Ghost Quarters people all the time? That's true. Or Ghost Quarters Basics all the time. While true, the Green White Value Town has been played at one event ever, and it's not particularly a wildly known deck. So I wouldn't entirely expect people to play around that one. And I would probably still flustering as it happens. Arnall, have a good night. Hello to Pabrinha. I'm going to assume that I said that right. If I said it wrong, please make corrections in your mind and assume that I said it exactly like that, or provide me a pronunciation guide. People are asking for Corden for Crixus Delver. Unfortunately, we only have 4 rounds. We've got about 20 players out there. I just can't get everything. I'll do my best to have some sweet stuff out there tonight. And of course, we do this stream twice a week for Modern alone, which means that whatever deck that you were hoping for, we can usually try and get it in the future. Thoughts on the different shadow builds? We did talk about it a little bit. Jund is my personal favorite. Everything else feels like it's trying to cast too wide of a net, and it ends up having too big of holes in the net. In that it goes in a lot of directions, and it just doesn't do it all. Where's my red hat? I haven't worn the red hat in here for probably 4 or 5 months or something like that. Something like that. A jug of wine. Asking for merfolk. Whew, but then all the fishies will get drunk if we put a jug of wine in the ocean. You want Cruel Control, as in just Grixis Control, or actually Cruel Tomato Control? You want 5-color Bring to Light Giftstron. Oddly enough, 5-color Tron was almost here. Maximum 2945. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Hi.
Hi.
He didn't regenerate the throne.
Yeah, I know, that's what we were all talking about.
It happens.
To be fair,
sweet,
I didn't know a single line that I was going to make. I would have won that game otherwise.
None?
Yeah.
Seemed accurate?
Yeah.
It was like you can take that one down and...
And hope.
Well, you could Snapcaster Path the Throne.
No, you can't.
Oh, no,
Can't
it's
be
hexproof.
targeted, yeah. Because otherwise that's what I would have done.
Otherwise, your game plan was to try and draw another Snapcaster and, like, flash double block?
Well, no. Well, then he would have regenerated there. I had actual Wrath of God that I was trying to find.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
Okay.
but, like, the other one was Snap Cryptic, and that was just worse.
Yeah, man, you were in a pretty rough spot there.
Yeah. But I do have round 3.
What is it?
You have Troy facing the wall.
Again?
Yep.
Okay.
And you have Brian on the other side. Yep.
Is he on 8 rack?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
I think he's on jump. It's either this or Shamans versus Ad Nauseam.
Boy, the match picking today.
Yeah.
The match picking today leaves something to be desired.
John demanded round 1, so.
I previously said no.
I'm just saying, blame Steven, he agreed with me. Steven's supposed to be my check, and he agreed with me.
Fair. Hey, Coleman. Thanks for all you do, man.
Oh, yeah, no
You're
problem.
great. Alright. Let's see if we can get a Cola Guns command. Nope, we can't. What else can we put up for this deck? Let's do Traverse. I like that card. Alright, you wish you could go on a trip to Washington just to visit the shop and play on camera? That would be sweet. That would be sweet. You'd like to update your request to Intoxicated Fishes? I'll see what we can do. Just shuffle the decks together. I believe this is actually True Jund, which actually this matchup is fairly interesting. I think regular Jund does have an advantage just because of the amount of removal that they have. But we'll see what we can do. We'll see you down there, everybody. Let's have some fun. Alright, so these players are about to get kicking off. And I'll be curious if this is just Shadow Jund on the other side as well. This is going to be an interesting one. But it looks like we've got a Thoughtseize from Brian to kick things off. We've got a Tarmogoyf, Death Shadow, Teamer Battle Rage, Mishra's Bauble, Death Shadow. Interesting. So, Inquisition, 2 threats, and Abrupt Decay. Possibly going to take the Abrupt Decay if he's got a creature that he particularly cares about. Otherwise, he might start attacking these threats. Might take down the Tarmogoyf because of... Yeah, and he's actually going to take the Inquisition, so Brian likes his hand enough. And Troy does draw into another Death Shadow, not able to get it fully active yet. We might see him firing off the Mishra's Bauble, potentially just going for a fetch, and doesn't have a whole lot of turn 1 plays, and that might be what Brian was really going for, is just taking down Troy's ability to make plays. Ooh, True Nightmare, you are our featured view of the day. Thank you so much for being here. You're a rock star at all times, and I am happy to have you here. Thank you so much for being a part of this stream, and I enjoy your contribution here. We still don't have a land from Brian's side of the field. Oh, we did draw a land off of the Mishra's Bauble, so we do need to have that consideration. We could take down the Tarmogoyf because the 2 lands in hand make it to where he can only put himself down to 15 at the moment. I think he was trying to take down the... Yeah, I think that the ball was another reasonable play. I think that was another reasonable play. You work for... Oh, Mox Boarding House, and you get to play on Thursdays. Very nice, Captain Card. I have not been to Mox. I need to go there sometime. I've been meaning to do commentary for one of their Thursday streams. I'm trying to set that one up in the next couple of weeks. The problem is that this Thursday I'm house sitting. Next Thursday I'm traveling to San Antonio, and then the Thursday after that I've got a night meeting. So possibly the Thursday after that I can try and do some commentary at Mox Boarding House. Have a good one, Honesty Dragon. It's good to have you here. We're gonna go down to 15 from Brian's side of the field. Oh, I'm already in the chat for it. I'm already in the chat for it. They already are. We've all discussed that I'm going to get in there eventually. I just haven't been able to because, like, I say this without trying to make it sound sad or like, my schedule is very full. My schedule is quite full, and so I'm trying to schedule it in a time that works out, and it's just difficult to find that time at the moment. Okay. You muted the chat so you won't see all the people anymore? Fair enough, Captain Card. Oh, Stoneforge Mystic for life. Is anybody else going to be at San Antonio? I'd love to meet you if you will be there. Alright, so Brian going for a fetch, falling down to 12. Going aggressively for these shocks is starting to make me think that Brian might be packing a Death Shadow of his own. But I don't know yet. Otherwise, Troy pretty much struggling. He lost his Tarmogoyf. He's just not able to get anything underway yet. He is at 15, not able to cast either of these Death Shadows that he's got, though I think he's only got one at the moment. And Brian just going to town. The Fatal Push able to take down the Tarmogoyf. And that's a Mishra's Bauble. This is Jund Shadow on both sides. This is the Shadow Mirror match. What? True Nightmare? That's fantastic. I look forward to meeting you one day. I'm a tad jealous too, Doro. I live like 15 minutes away from here. Maybe 10, depending on the traffic. And we're going to go for a Death Shadow on Brian's side of the battlefield. He gets to have a 1-1. Remember that there is an Abrupt Decay in Troy's hand, though. You had to miss a GP 10 minutes from your house? That's sad. So the Death Shadow joining the battlefield, we're going to shock it down, and just showing an Abrupt Decay for that one. We're not going to deal with it. We're not going to allow for any disruption. We're not going to allow for any protection. We're just going to cleanly answer it from Troy's side of the battlefield, and we are going to untap and go for a Thoughtseize, take out that Fatal Push. Brian's in top deck mode, and what looked like a dominant game for Brian is suddenly in Troy's side of the court. Mill for life, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's awesome having you here. What days are Legacy? Friday nights are Legacy. Basic land choice when I play Burn. Currently I have the Noah Bradley Mountains from Battle for Zendikar, the full arts. But I'm happy with most of them. If I were to... I love those mountains. If I ever felt like actually spending money on them, then I might go for firing off a Tarfire at himself. Growing the Tarmogoyf as well, though I believe that was already in the graveyard, so it doesn't do a whole lot. And we've got a Tarmogoyf fight in top deck mode. Is Seismic Swan worth buying? Depends on how much disposable income that you have. The deck is fun. I would struggle to say that it will ever be a top contender. Just the nature of the deck doesn't really work that direction. But it is pretty sweet. I love watching it, and I'd love to see it certainly more in the future. But it's definitely gimmicky. Let's see. Thanks, Saffron. Bumping it up. Alright, so Brian's going to fall down to 7. And we get to untap. Do we find the card that's going to give us an edge? It does not look like it. The cards that are going to give us an edge, mostly Sorcerer Speed. If this is a Traverse, that's gas. Oh! Yes! That's a good Traverse. My goodness. Could have saved that to kill the Goyf after combat? Very possibly. It is an unusual choice to fire that one off. Maybe just trying to deal a little bit of damage to himself so that he could play a Death Shadow. Probably better known as Saffron Olive. And we've got our own Tarmogoyf joining the battlefield. That was big for Brian. Though Troy has got a Liliana and just drew into his own land. He could go down to 8. He could minus that one. Do I think that Sultai Mill is possible? I don't know why you're in green. Is it for Abrupt Decay? Or Maelstrom Pulse? Or anything? It's maybe reason... Like, Mill is a strategy that is inherently kind of in a dangerous position. We're going to Temur Battle Rage it. We're going to give it Double Strike and Trample. It's going to end up killing one of them and then just bouncing. So 2 mana traded for 2 mana here. Brian and Troy end up going for the full bounce. That double block from Brian, a really smart way to go about it. Though also a pretty intuitive play. He is going to end up losing his own Tarmogoyf, it would seem. Why did he lose his own Tarmogoyf? Oh, because it could only deal 1 less, and then it ended up taking damage from both of them. So actually, Troy ends up losing one of his, drops down a Death Shadow, which is pretty sizable at this point, and I think he's going to fall down to 8, 9? Falling down to 9. So Brian at 7, Troy at 9. I may have been slightly off, or they were slightly off, or didn't update anything quite. We shall see. Den Protector and Shadow Lists. Medium. Not a big fan. I don't ever want to spend the 3 mana than the 2 mana to play it and then flip it back face up. I'd rather just play a Liliana Last Hope. Barkeen, while that's usually true, I will say that in certain metas, Mill has a lot of potential. In a combo-heavy meta, it's just better than Burn. Why is Jund the best color for Death Shadow? It's the most straightforward. It has the most access to removal. It's got Tarfire, Kolagon's Command. It's got Battle Rage. It's the best Traverse deck because of the Tarfire. Let's see here. And we have got 3 mana for Troy. We also have a Death Shadow on the field. And looks like we've got another land. We can at least grow the Shadow. We've got a pretty sizable Tarmogoyf without any enchantments, but otherwise as sizable as it gets. So I believe that is a 7-8. I believe that's a 7-8 Tarmogoyf. And he can go down to 6 to have a 7-7. So actually it does not win in the combat right now. Yep, Mill beats Scapeshift. It crushes ad nauseum, which is pretty funny. So Mill is a reasonable deck. In fact, one of my favorite things is... one of my favorite stories is the Mill deck that was just absolutely annihilating GP LA last May. Like, rumors of that deck started spreading to anybody who was around in the room. Everybody started hearing about the Mill deck, which was just crushing it. It started getting on some of the social media. Like, that person was just annihilating all day, and that Mill deck was sweet. And it was a great call for that weekend because of the amount of aggro, and it was just able to capitalize against it so very well with the bridges. Rooting for Jun Shadow here. Thanks, Doro. I appreciate that. So, Brian at 5, Troy at 6, loses the Death Shadow, and we are going to Kolaghan's Command to finish out the last damage, bring back the Death Shadow. Troy suddenly in a positive position. Brian, with a Wooded Foothills out, passes it back, draws into a land. Troy is going to take it. Game 1 goes to Troy, using the Kolaghan's Command to deal the final damage. Why is Jun Shadow or the superior Shadow Jund? Shadow Jund? Actually, I normally do call it Shadow Jund. I think I just messed up there. I do prefer Shadow Jund, actually. So let's go ahead and just make it that. Okay. So, what have we got here? Are there matchups where and metas where Grixis Shadow is better? Against Jun Shadow, Grixis is much better. Otherwise, Stubborn Denial does make it probably reasonably better. Against, I guess, some of the like hard control, it might be a little bit better against the blue-white control, anything like that. I don't know. I don't know. The Iron Chef, Bobby Flay, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's awesome having you here. Plus, Bobby Flay was actually one of my favorite Iron Chefs. Big fan of his work. Yeah, he's awesome. Definitely a solid one. Looks like Troy might have a sideboarding guide, which is pretty great. You're on that Esper Death Shadow? Very nice. You want to see Orzhov Charm and Death Shadow decks? Actually, I like Orzhov Charm. I've played it in some pretty sweet stuff before. I think it does find itself right at home. But I've already talked about Death Shadow like 3 times today. I'm sure other people can reiterate my thoughts if it's desperately needed, but otherwise it probably isn't needed. Jund is my preferred one. It's the most streamlined. And all the other ones, not my favorite, but close. Jugga1, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's a pleasure having you here. You're a rock star, and I look forward to seeing you more in the future. Everybody out there, wherever you are, let's do something that we haven't done in a long time. There's 230 of you out there. That makes me so very excited to be a part of this with all of you. Thank you for joining me here. Thank you for supporting us doing this stream. Thank you for supporting me streaming at home. Thank you for supporting everything that we do here with your views and your thoughts and your support and your feedback, and everything that you do means the world to me. It really genuinely does, and I can never tell you all this enough. So thank you so very much for everything that you do for me. Secondly, take a moment if you feel like it, and let's play the fun game and I won't be able to read them all out. But it's kind of fun to just give a shout out, and I will be watching it. Let's just shout out where we're from, right? I'm from Snohomish. I live in Everett now. Xanthan, thank you so very much for the follow. It's a pleasure having you here. I think Fort Sappy is going to be the next emote that we make. Circuit here every Wednesday night? Well, I appreciate you being here every Wednesday night. Okay. You are at your grandma's house. Nice. LA. Ooh, I like LA. You're in Seattle. Come play with us sometime. Morrison Alexander, Texas. Are you going to be at San Antonio? I will be there, and I'd love to meet you there. Anybody who's in Texas. Captain Karn, I can certainly do... Let's see. Rate the creature lands best to worst. Okay. I can do that. Pittsburgh. Love Pittsburgh. Shade. Shadowbane, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. It's a pleasure having you here. You are a rock star of the highest caliber. So my number 1 ranking is actually going to go to Mutavault. Even that means that I'm going to have 11 rankings. But it's just the right call. It's just better. My phone automatically downloaded Mobile Strike. Will I be at GP Vegas? Yes, I will. That's unfortunate, Morrison Alexander. That is unfortunate. Shadow Jund? Yes, indeedy. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Bruno, well, welcome. It's a pleasure having you here. We've got San Jose as well. I love that one. Minnesota, where it's still cold. I hear ya. I hear ya. You'll see us there. I'm excited about that. Yep, San Antonio, I'll be there. I will be at Vegas. I will be at Oklahoma City, and I'll be at Portland. You just booked GP Vegas? That is awesome. I am very excited for GP Vegas. As a quick shout out, another thing that you have the option of doing while you're here, while you're having fun, feel free to follow me at Red Baron MTG. It's on Twitter. I'll let you know when we're streaming from here, and I'll let you know when I'm streaming from home as well. Italy, that's pretty cool, Savory Zookeeper. Italy's a cool place. Alright, so heading into a game 2. We saw Troy take game 1, so let's go ahead and mark that. I can rate those creature lands later. I'd have to actually remember the names of all the ones that don't matter, is the problem. I can tell you the ones that do matter. How about that? I'll rate 10 of them that matter. Let's go Mutavault, or Mishra's Factory Mutavault, then we'll say Ink Moth, Blink Moth, Celestial Colonnade, Creeping Tar Pit, Stirring Wildwood, wait, hold on. Celestial Colonnade, Raging Ravine, maybe Raging Ravine, then Celestial Colonnade, Creeping Tar Pit, Stirring Wildwood, Fairy Conclave. What's that put me at, 7? Nope, that puts me at 9. And the last one that's like moderately relevant would be... What's the last one that might even be remotely relevant? The Double Strike one? The red-white one, I guess. Treetop Village. You're right, Treetop Village comes in last. Thank you. Those are the creature lands as I would rate them. Oh, you're right. Shambling Vent should take over Fairy Conclave. Shambling Vent and Treetop Village both make the list. Forgot Shambling Vent. That's my top 10 list. Hissing Quagmire is medium, but I don't think it's better than Treetop. I think Hissing Quagmire is substantially medium. But so is Treetop Village. But Treetop Village is Trample, which is slightly relevant. And like while Shambling Vent gets played more, I think that's much more a matter of decks being able to play for it and looking for a splash land. And if you're going to play a tapped land, it might as well tap for 2 colors. I think that's more deck building than actual the land, though I guess that should actually be a real consideration because it sees play. So maybe Shambling Vent can beat it out. I suppose that's reasonable. So Troy, taking a lot of damage early on with double Street Wraith plus a Fetch Shock plus a Shock. And we're going to Thoughtseize. We have a Nile Spellbomb that Thoughtseize is going to reveal a Liliana the Last Hope with the Tarmogoyf in the graveyard. Plus, we do have a Gorklan Rampager to help push over opposing Tarmogoyfs. Plus, we've got the Death Shadow itself, which is the threat. And it looks like the Abrupt Decay is going to be what goes away. Fun fact here is that Troy's Liliana the Last Hope actually holds a lot of value in this matchup because of its effect on the mirror match, which is exactly where we're at, right? So, Tarmogoyfs bounce off of each other and Death Shadows just run into each other. Liliana the Last Hope is a combat breaker for both of those. Even if you have your own Tarmogoyf against theirs, your Liliana makes yours substantially better by making it a +1/+1 over it. And in opposing Death Shadow fights, you make yours actually a +2/+1 over it, which can provide a pretty substantial amount of value. Looks like Brian is going to drop his own Death Shadow at the moment. So Troy also able to shut down Brian's Delirium with this Nile Spellbomb, which is a pretty cool play. Stocking Stones is actually a thing way back when. That's true. That's true. Okay. So, who's TJ? That's me. Hey, look at me. Hi, TJ. Hi, me. So we do not have any plays left. Probably just going to be going for activating the Nile Spellbomb. A Fatal Push is going to take down the opposing Death Shadow, which explains why that. BC Lloyd, 5 months in a row you've been subbing here. Thank you so much. That's amazing. You're incredible, and I appreciate the support. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for resubbing. That is 157 subscribers that we currently have, and I thank and appreciate every single one of you. You're all amazing. BC Lloyd, you're great. Thanks for the support. Look at all that lightning from Mostly Lost. So we do have a Kolaghan's Command from Brian. I expect Troy is probably going to fire off the Nile Spellbomb here. Try and get rid of that Delirium so that Brian loses access to his own Traverse the Ovenwald. And it also gives him the chance to draw a card. Finds himself a Death Shadow. And if he's got the land as well, he does have the Death Shadow as well as the Liliana Last Hope to start winning these mirror matches. We do have the Traverse in hand as well as a Kolaghan's Command from Brian's side of things. So Brian might use this, could attack in with the Death Shadow with the Liliana, and then Brian might use the Kolaghan's Command to finish it out, finish the opposing Death Shadow, even though he would lose his own, and then rebuy back his own Death Shadow. Seems like a pretty reasonable play here. And that's what I think I'd like to see. So Troy goes for this, then casts, maybe goes down to 5 if he's got the basic Swamp still in that deck, which I think he does. But it looks like he's actually passing it back, and he's looking to use his own Kolaghan's Command. Both of these players might be looking to ram them into each other, and both of them use their own Kolaghan's Command to buy back their creatures. Thanks, Dora. I appreciate that. Okay. You're right. Brian's life total is way behind. That's my bad. And we are going to go for that fetch down to 5. Our Death Shadow is a little bit bigger on that side. MTG, thanks for the follow. And we're actually going to go down to 3. Playing around the fact that Brian is running Tarfire and not Lightning Bolt. It's bold. I like it. And it means that this Death Shadow is outclassing everything else on the battlefield. And it looks like we're going to Kolaghan's Command, try and buy back our own Death Shadow and also make Brian discard a card. He doesn't have the mana to cast either one of these. Probably going to discard his Traverse because it lost so much value. We're probably going to buy back our own Death Shadow, play down a Death Shadow, and plus it up on that opposing Death Shadow means that Troy is outclassing them completely in combat, plus it can downsize that Tarmogoyf. Troy might be taking a pretty dominant position in this match, which is incredible considering that he's at such... I mean, it's a Shadow deck, right? But Brian's been looking pretty solid here. Might be looking for potential targets for another Kolaghan's Command, or possibly looking to see if he wants to minus that Liliana. Oh no, we're updating the Tarmogoyf dice. Okay, so the Tarmogoyf is a 5/6 right now, deciding that it is relevant and worth looking into. Kinetic Stasis, while that's true, My favor goes towards the deck that's running 13 discard spells and 12 threats. Like, that's beautiful. But then it runs 3 ways, to actually upwards of 5 ways to rebuy those threats. Getting aggressive, too, is pretty nice here, because Brian actually has to block, so it's functionally similar. And we are going to overrun this one, and that might be enough. That was 6, and this is a 10. Oh, is that exactly enough? That was 14 getting blocked. Oh, no, that puts Brian at 1, I think. Oh, but he might have had a fetch available. I think he did have a fetch available, possibly demonstrate that he can just fetch down to 2. Brian extends the hand. Troy takes that game in 2. Beaten the Shadow Jund Mirror. Wow. Nicely done, Troy. Nicely done. The unfortunate thing is that Brian actually was aware of the Gore Clan Rampager, possibly just forgot about it, and ended up getting hit by it. So, let's head on up to the booth and see what else we can find. We're in round 3 of 4 right now, but there's more magic happening in the field, on the battlefield, on the tables, in the store, in Snohomish, and of course around the world. But we can't show those matches because we are limited by, of course, the proximity and the people who can play on camera. But we're going to try and find some of those people and see if we can put them on that camera, watch some Magic, watch some Modern, watch some cool Magic matches happening, and get all that sweet, sweet alliteration. We'll see you up there. Hello, and thank you so much for joining. My name is TJ. This is the Geek Fortress stream located out of Geek Fortress, located in Snohomish, Washington, which is in the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. You can find the website at geekfortressgames.com and check out all the super sweet singles and sealed product that he's got to offer. It's a small shop, but it's a growing shop, and let's keep it going and help support that shop that helps keep us hosted. I do enjoy that, I do love that, and I do enjoy this shop and love this shop. Plus, the players out there are not too shabby either. They're pretty incredible, and of course, my thanks always go out to them for being willing to be on stream and, of course, putting on a good show for us at all times. Getting that subliminal messaging from Morrison Alexander, I do enjoy that one. Gary Sanitarium is bonkers. I love that card. In fact, we've nicknamed it Can't Lose Sanitarium in general. The Black Seal, ooh, that's 3 mana, though. Kind of medium on 3 mana kill spells. Yeah, I'm medium on them. But it does make your Delirium way better, so I will give it that. You love the flavor of Gary Sanitarium? Everyone's crazy now. That's true. I never really thought about it too much myself. I was too busy activating it for sweet value. Plus, in the meantime, if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that follow button and join us for our current 3 streams a week. We've got Wednesdays and Saturdays for that super modern series, which of course is just our weekly tournaments, but it's all kinds of fun. You can join us for what's Death Shadow's worst matchup? Probably green-white value, blue-white control. There's some pretty cool stuff. Jund itself is a pretty rough matchup. I imagine Grixis control isn't particularly great. Yeah. Anyway, every Wednesday and Saturday we stream Modern. Wednesdays at 7 and Saturdays at 6. But hey, maybe you're thinking to yourself, TJ, that doesn't go far back enough for me. I'm into the classics. I like that classical music. I listen to Elton John, Billy Joel, also a little bit of Aerosmith. I've been watching Armageddon all day, and I've got every Aerosmith song stuck in my head. Do you got anything that really extends into the classics for me? Well, absolutely, yes, I do. On Fridays at 7:30, you can join me for some of that super-duper amazing Aerosmith rockin' Armageddon Cousin and Armageddon legal format that they call Legacy. That's not classical music. It's kind of not classical at all. It isn't even remotely classical. But I did say that older stuff, but also no, I didn't. I probably did say classical. That's my bad. Maybe I meant classic. How about that? It is classic. Give it classic, not classical. Though maybe you do like it, and maybe you want to bring all those cards back. Just like that super sweet classical music. Did I nail it? Maybe I did. I'm going to call it a smooth recovery, and then I'm going to do an invisible guitar solo, but below camera, so it doesn't look absolutely ridiculous. But let's see what else we can do. Join me on 7:30. On Friday at 7:30 for that sweet Legacy music. I said classic. Maybe I did say classical. Ah, well. Classically rock? That's what I'm looking for. You give it a B minus? I'll take a B minus. Thank you so very much. Bye, Mason. Have a great day. I said classical. Well, I didn't mean to. That's my bad. But we'll move forward from it. Because sometimes I just kind of start, and I certainly had no idea where I was going when I started this spiel. That kind of it does tend to happen. I just kind of set my eyes on the prize, which that prize is saying words, and then I set forth on my goal. You see, it's kind of like in the movie The Hobbit. It's dangerous business stepping outside your door. You put one foot in the road and suddenly there's no telling where it's going to take you. Well, of course, that's where I find myself. I put one foot into the roadway of this sentence and I find myself talking and going and moving forward into the eons of this conversation. I hope that you are all having a wonderful day, a wonderful night, and a wonderful evening, but not all at the same time, wherever you are, whatever time it is. I hope it is solid and amazing and great and gives you all the fulfillment that you hope to see out of a day. And I hope that you are enjoying this stream. We're going to try and get some more magic for you here at the Geek Fortress stream, where, of course, you can always hit that follow button. And, hey, maybe you feel like, TJ, I've got this extra $5 a month. Normally I buy myself a cup of coffee because apparently everyone compares all prices in the world to cups of coffee. Well, I don't buy coffee in the morning. What am I supposed to compare my prices to? I don't really get it. Am I going to compare it to a bottle of water? Because then things sound expensive. But that's aside the point. Think to yourself, I don't want to buy coffee tomorrow morning. What am I going to do with this $5? Well, let me tell you what you can do. There's a sub button. It looks a little bit like a subscribe button. In fact, that's what it says exactly. You can go, you can click it, you can check it out, and then it does take a little bit of that payment information. But then you get a 1-month sub at this stream, which supports us and does all kinds of cool things. Your deck is worth 230 espresso. Thoughts on Gift Storms? You've been afraid to play it since Death Shadow showed up. That's true, it is a little bit weak to that discard. It's got a lot of cantrips though, but I'm not sure if I feel super confident playing it against decks with that many discard. On the bright side, the deck still doesn't take up a huge number of that meta, so we'll see what kind of happens moving forward. The deck is super sweet, and if you get to untap and you have one of those creatures, it's pretty incredible. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a tier 1 contender, but that's probably not why you're looking at the deck, right? If you're already looking at Storm, you're looking at a world in which you are, you've already accepted that if the deck ever does become good, it's going to get hated out, right? So you're looking for the deck because it's fun and it's awesome. And if that's why you're looking at it, then I would say go for it. But that's just me, and of course I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I overly professional Magic advisor. I'm mostly just talking things, and it's a lot of fun for me, and I hope it's a lot of fun for you. That was quite the monologue. Thank you. I appreciate that. I had a lot of fun with it. Melvin's tossing in with that hashtag Team Waffle. I gotta say hashtag Team Pancake. I do love pancakes, and it's mostly because I make them myself, and I do enjoy doing that. I love making myself some of those super sweet pancakes. I make them with nutmeg and vanilla and just a little bit of cinnamon as well. It's a lot of fun, but waffles not to be counted out. Both of them solid breakfast choices, which fall just behind a solid biscuits and gravy for myself. When does spring start? Yesterday. Spring has sprung, so they say. If you sacrifice only 15.8 million cups of coffee from that popular coffee shop you go to, you can afford your own luxury yacht. Thank you so much, Snarf. I appreciate that. And I will have to start budgeting for that, and I'll have to take coffee out of my regular daily diet. That way I can get that super sweet yacht that I've been meaning to get. March 21st. Yes, yes, yes. Team Baguette. I like your style only because you can spell baguette, and I gotta say, if you had challenged me to it, I'm not sure if I could have, which is why I'm not sure if you did either. I'm gonna have to take your word on it, though, because you seem like an authority on baguettes, while I am not. LouBoys97, how is it going? I hope you're having a good day, and I'm gonna check up on that backup match that we are trying to get. Boros Burn is better, especially in the mirror match. Any matches you want to game 3 or game 2?
It doesn't look like it, but I will keep an eye on it.
Thank you. You're French? That's amazing. Being French is great. Oh, you spelled it right. That does look more right. Being French must be awesome. Or, yeah, I bet it's great. Only because, like, being anything is great, right? Being something, being here, being in the world is just incredible. And that's gotta be exciting. I like it. You like how you've totally derailed this chat? I like how you've totally derailed this chat. Play Naya for fun, Boros to win. That does seem like a reasonable way to go about it, though I personally find Boros pretty fun. Hey, what's up, Tin Man? Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I'm mostly just firing off the words as fast as we can. Let's play a little bit of that fun or fail, because while I can monologue for a good bit, I don't want to end up making it run out its course. I don't want to end up souring the taste of my solid speed talking monologues. TJ is so freaking wholesome. Yes, I am. And I gotta say, it's because of all of you. Well, it's largely. Core Phoenix, thank you so much for the follow. I guess I can't say it's 100%, but I gotta say, it is no small thing how positive you all help me be. It's huge. It is enormous, the effect that you all have on me. The fact that I get to, not only 3 times a week, but every time that I stream from home, I get to interact with all of you who help me become a better person every single time that I play, every time that I turn this on, and I get to interact with some incredible people out there who help me become better people. Or one person, but a better people, a better person. That's huge. It's awesome. It's incredible. It is incredible how amazing the world can be. And I just want to thank you all for being a part of that for me. Let's go ahead and play that sweet game of fun or fail. I'm going to slide this one on over next to the chat. That way you can all keep it nice and warm, because we might be particularly cold to some of these cards. Okay. Huh. I didn't know that, Alexis Bros. That's sort of neat. Put a 2/5 green Treefolk into play. Whenever a forest comes to play, you can return it. I'm going to say fun. It's fun. Not good, though. But it's fun, and in draft, I bet it's great. Child of Thorns. Never even knew that this card existed. It's a 1-mana, 1/1 spirit that says sacrifice target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. While I understand its necessity and it seems like an interesting card, I'm going to give it a fail. It's an onboard combat trick that isn't even particularly good, and the card itself is also pretty mediocre. So I'm going to say fail. Art's great, though. Caldera Lake. It enters the battlefield tapped, and it's a terrible pain land. Fail. Intuition. Fun. We've done it before. Sphinx Summoner. When it enters the battlefield, you can search your library for an artifact creature card. Reveal it, put it in your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. It's a 5-mana 3/3 with flying, but it's also a Sphinx with some pretty sweet art. It's getting pretty close to that fun ranking. I'm going to give it a fun because Sphinxes are fun. Plus, it's just neat. It's a cool tutor. It's not overly cheap. It's solid. And it doesn't require restrictions. I like it. Everything's cool about that. Plus, it gets Baleful Strix. And we've got a knock on the door. Who is it? I'm just going to have to open it.
The start of the next round is imminent.
What? How imminent?
Pairings are posted.
What was that card before Sphinx's Summoner? Intuition. Let's go ahead and show that card really quickly. 3 mana, search your library. And we are going to get that round 4 up right now. So it looks like we have come to the end of Fun or Fail. Looks like my monologues were enough. Hopefully you all did enjoy my monologues, but let's go ahead and get ready for that next round. Thank you all for sticking with me through it. Some of you dropped off, and I understand. You got to watch more of that magic, and that's what you're here to do. But hopefully I can be a little bit entertaining in the meantime. Hey! Kinetic Stasis, that's so nice of you to say. You know, thank you. I really do appreciate that. That's super, super nice of you to say. And, like, yeah. I'll follow up with that after I hear what my round 4 is. Hello!
Okay, so I've got 2 3-0s for you.
What? Tell me more about
Well,
them.
the match would either be Death Shadow versus Burn,
Or
a Control Mirror.
what's the control mirror?
It's Grixis versus Blue White, because I'm one of them.
Who's on Grixis?
Kevin.
Let's do that one.
Okay. I will be on the wall.
We've seen Death Shadow enough at this point.
Yeah, we really have.
You'll be on the wall?
Yep.
Thank you so much for your contribution to my life. Okay. Finally got 4 guides. Very cool. True story. Geek for. It's the stream you listen to on your tablet, little Bluetooth earbud in your ear while falling asleep. Aw, that sounds super fun, Alexis Bros. I'm pretty sure we'll call for Ian. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Props on that impressive snap. He is an impressive snapper. Absolutely. Thanks, Top Cat. Oh, you're all being so nice. I'll say something once I'm done typing this in. I'm sorry. I wanna like read all the nice things because I don't know. I'm selfish, I guess. But I gotta do this typing right now. Blue white control. It's more that we've just had enough of it. So Grixis control versus blue white control. This strikes me as an interesting matchup. The hand disruption of Grixis, I think, is going to give it a decent advantage, but there's a huge, way more card draw out of Coleman here. Reign of Trains, have a good night. Bastelin, I wouldn't pick one. Reign of Trains, have a wonderful evening. So let's go ahead and do Supreme Verdict here. I'm going to give this one to Grixis because of Kolagon's command, which is, I think, pretty solid. Thanks, Dream Theory. I super appreciate that. Someone used to always be in chat calling it a cool cat. Who was that? Hold on, I can remember this. It was something golf related. I feel like. Life is bowling. Life is bowling. Life is bowling used to always call me a cool cat, and it always made me feel good about myself. Yeah. Let's do Cryptic Command for the other deck. Because they even use the emote. Okay, there we go, Doro. You got it. Alright, so let's head on down for round 4 of 4. We'll see you down there. Okay, mostly lost. I basically have to agree with you here. I think the nature of Grixis having threats that can drop a little bit sooner is significantly more relevant. What's up, Tie-Dye Gamer? It's good to see ya. So, the quick thing that I was going to say. A, thank you everybody for the nice things that you said. That's super kind of you, and thank you everybody for watching. But truly, genuinely, what I love about this stream and what I love about doing this, the reason why I like doing commentary over playing Magic, like, I could be playing Magic, I choose to not do that to do this instead, is because what I love more than anything else is, like, making other people smile. That's... So when you said that, I don't know, that sits with me and it means a lot to me. So thank you for that. And it looks like this is actually Grixis Delver. So not only did we get a sweet matchup, but we also got the Delver matchup that someone was looking for. So that Delver reveals a Fatal Push and then gets hit by a Path to Exile. Kevin is going to shuffle this up, chooses to lose the Fatal Push, which actually is probably a positive for Kevin here. Vince used to also Cool Cat too. You're right, Vince did always used to Cool Cat. So, thank you everybody for all that you... I don't want to sound like this is coming across as arrogant, right? But thank you for letting me make you smile. And if I don't, then I apologize that I'm not able to, but hopefully you're at least entertained. Serum Visions, coming on down for Kevin. We're going to go ahead and do that draw. We're going to do that scry, and it's going to look super cool while we do it. We're going to keep, looks like one on top, one on bottom, so we do like one of those cards coming up. We were able to use one of those, and we're going to drop down our second land for the turn, which is actually, or a land for the turn, which is actually our third land. Don't think he plays Cryptic Command. Now that it's Delver, I have to agree. I thought that it was a different one at first. I am very inclined to believe you at this point. So we're going to make that Delver of Secrets. These are 3-0 players. That is correct. So we're going to Serum Visions here. Smile, no. Entertain, yes. Fair enough, Beach. C. Beach, C2. It was way too close to another word, so I had to finish the word. Thank you. What are my thoughts on Esper Control? It's sweet. I like the proactive version that's running Narset. Oh, man. That's okay, Tie-Dye Gamer. I don't mind. I think I'm better at commentary. I think that I'm much better as a commentator. If I could do one of these forever and just do that, and that would be like my thing, and I could do that, then I would do commentary. I'm not insulted. I completely understand. I love doing the home stream, and I'm going to keep doing it, but... So... We have got a Snapcaster in the field right now, and we're actually going to Thoughtscar ourselves. We're going to go with an... And we saw there... I don't think that was a blue source. Let's see what we can do. Coleman's Esper. I think that is honestly just to cast... I'm pretty sure that Coleman is just running that to flashback... Spacing on the name right now. Mystical Teachings. I'm almost certain that that is to Flashback Mystical Teachings. Tie-Dye Gamer, truly, that's a compliment. Saying that you prefer watching my commentary is solidly a compliment. And it looks like we are going to be doing a little bit of this delving. Do you think it's a Tasigur? Yes, you do. Could also be for EE. Very true. I believe he does run some number of that. And it looks like we actually are going to try and Logic Knot this. Are we going to force him to pay 3 and, yeah! Nice. Getting rid of the Serum Visions as well and telling Kevin you got to pay for all of these. Ends up making it to where he has to pay 4. He's got 3 mana. Now you don't feel so bad? Good. I'm glad you don't feel bad. You should feel great, because you are great. That is a Condemn in Coleman's hand. It's not going to be great in this matchup. It's not really where you're looking to have it. It does take down Delvers, it does take down Insectile Aberrations, and it can theoretically take down a Snapcaster, but Coleman just going to use a Mana Leak on this Snapcaster. Kevin's starting to run out of resources. Wait, isn't Now I Don't Feel So Bad a song? And now I don't feel so bad. Ah, yes. Snap bolts and thought seas and islands and mountains. Condemns and Succure and bolt all the dorks. These are my favorite magic meals to eat with a fork. Kevin's at 17 and Coleman's at 15. Using that fetch, which will be yours to delve. Man, my voice is awful. I'm sorry. It's gonna be a Vendilion click, and I apologize for all that. And it looks like everyone's gonna secure the waste for 5. Beautiful! Absolutely beautiful! We're gonna reveal the rest of the hand. Yeah, I know, it went downhill. It went downhill. I'm sorry. So we've got a Condemn, a Detention Sphere, and a Serum Visions. I think we might end up just taking down that Detention Sphere. That Secure the Waste is going to get us 5 of these Warrior tokens, which are going to look pretty fly at all times. You don't understand him either? That's reasonable. You shouldn't. Now I've got that stuck in my head. I know! We actually replaced the box of tokens with the binder of tokens. It was Steven's idea. It was Steven's idea, now we have a Stream Tokens binder. Alright, and we are going to Fatal Push one of these tokens. Kevin should be playing Grixis Control. So we've got to Condemn, a Serum Visions, the Detention Sphere on bottom. Apparently not enough Warriors. That's just, I think we were just trying to keep a playset of tokens in the binder, so that it wouldn't overload the binder too much. We're going to swing for 3. He's going to be down to 12. Does still have that Condemn in hand, but was tapped out at the time. And we're going to fire off that Serum Visions. We do still have the Condemn, which is able to take down the Vendilion Click. Kevin ends up gaining some life in the process. And we're going to deal 4 damage, take it down. And likely Kevin's going to fall down to 13 unless he's going to start using removal spells here. This looks like maybe a Snap Fatal Push. And Coleman does not have a response to this. So a Snap Fatal Push does mean... Ooh. Is Electrolyze still in the graveyard, or did that get delved? Ah, it did. So, I'm going to take down one of those, ends up taking 2, goes to 15, and now Kevin has got a nice threat on board in this Vendilion Click. Coleman still with an answer to it, and does have the Celestial Colonnade. Also has a Ghost Quarter in his hand, which could eventually take down anything that Kevin might have, maybe a Creeping Tar Pit, anything like that. Oh, man. Counter Squall is my favorite thing about Grixis decks. Counter Squall is my favorite thing about any Grixis deck. That looks like a Gurmag Angler on top to me. What's up, Ninewalker? It's good to see you. It is good to see you. We might end up possibly just going to keep this back because he knows about the Condemn. Maybe he just wants to leave it back as a way to potentially trade with one of these warriors, but that sounds like a terrible value. And Coleman with a Think Twice might fire this off proactively, actually, to try and find something. But it looks like he might actually be waiting this for the end step. Maybe he's going to just try and fire off all 5 mana and draw 2 cards. I think he's offering a trade here, and Kevin not going to take that one. And he's going to fall to 13. Yep. You got it right. And we got a lightning bolt here pointing towards Coleman, who's going to fall down to 9. If Kevin can find a way to protect this Vendilion Clique from that Condemn, he'll be looking pretty solid. Looks like we do have a Snap Bolt. Coleman going to think twice in response, looking for an answer. Coleman also does have the Celestial Colonnade as a way to get in front of the Vendilion Clique. And it looks like we are flashing it back now. We're looking for a counterspell, and we don't find it. So Kevin does have access to this. He's going to knock Coleman down to 6, who is at a little bit of a disadvantage. Kevin able to develop some of these quick creatures and keep the Snap Bolts coming. And we are going to condemn the Vendilion Clique. We have an Ancestral Visions, another Condemn. We might fire this one off. And it looks like we are, so we're actually going to go up to 15, and then we are going to go up to 18, I believe. And apparently we're actually at 15. Possibly Kevin lost some life that I'm unaware of. Or it's toughness. If it's toughness, that makes total sense, because then he would have gained 2 life. So I'm going to say that Condemn is probably based on that creature's toughness, because it's not a Swords to Plowshares, which means that he gained 2 life and went up to 15. M. Pavant, thank you so much. The booty. Yeah. And thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. It's awesome having you here. You are a rock star. Looks like Kevin with another Snapcaster in the... Oh, no, that's the graveyard that he's looking at the moment. Undermine, as I believe not modern legal, unfortunately. Let's see what we've got. Those Counter Squalls are gorgeous. They're super pretty. I love Counter Squall. I'm a burn player to the core, but like Counter Squall is just sweet. It's just awesome. It's one of my favorite spells in all of the Grixis colors. Tie-Dye Gamer, what do I do for a day job? I work for a local jurisdiction in their planning department. Doing mostly permitting. Okay. Thanks, Josh. That's a nice one. We do have a Snapcaster. Could have Snap Logic Knot. We could have Snap Secure the Wastes as well. That might be it. Maybe it's the Counter Squall is just a control player's burn spell. Maybe that is it. Are we about to secure the wastes? We're gonna mana leak it. Oh no, we're just gonna go Snap Path, taking the clean answer here with Coleman at a lowly 5. He's gonna be able to pay the extra mana, and actually, let's see, we've got 8 damage on the field. Coleman now possesses a 2-turn clock. Coleman gets to untap. Oh no, this is on Coleman's turn. Okay. So actually Coleman just going to attack for a little bit. There's not a whole lot of haste threats though. So he attacks him down to 13, and Coleman possesses a 2-turn clock here with the Celestial Colonnade. So if Kevin in top deck mode isn't able to find a threat, then Coleman might actually be able to pull out this game 1. Those mana leaks could have been Counter Squalls. I hear ya. Oh man. Is Coleman going to take this one down? He can even leave back the creatures, but with no threats on board, nothing that Kevin has haste, so he can just start going to town. And he's still holding up 4 mana, so something like a Cryptic Command. Oh, that's a Kitchen Finks. That's a Kitchen Finks. God, I love Kitchen Finks. So Kevin is down to 5. It is the 5 mirror match. We've got Snap, potentially Snap Bolt to knock him down to 2. But that's too much damage on the opposing side of the board. With the Kitchen Finks out, Coleman's at 4. He gets to untap. Do we get... I think we have it. Kevin's got one card in hand, unless it is just a blowout, like a Cryptic Command or something like that. If it's a Cryptic Command, then Cole might have a chance. But we are going to pick it up. Wah! Wah wah wah! Nice! Wheel! Lapow! Ship-pa-pa-pa! How do you cast Sphinx with white? Kitchen Sphinx is a hybrid spell, so you can cast it in just a mono white deck. Woo! Okay. Whew! That was sweet. But blue is unplayable in Modern? Oh no. Hold on, I'll let them know. I was asked to inform you two that blue is unplayable in Modern, and what are you two doing?
What?
I was told to remind you two that blue is unplayable in Modern.
Oh, you see, that would just describe all of my decks. All of my decks are playable. People should play better Magic.
I think... I don't really know what's happening then.
I just haven't won enough.
Okay. Pow! Pow! You've actually put... You're welcome. Thought they should know. Oh, goodness. But why hit creatures? Just kill them. That's fun. That is fun. Yeah, Counterscroll is usually a sideboard card there. Is there any place to look at the Delver players' deck lists? Unfortunately not. A guy named Spare. That is unfortunately not the case. Walnuts Bagoo, if I considered singing jazz. I have some natural scat talent. People have also given me, what's the word? The people that do things at auctioneer. That makes sense. Look at me. I found my way from point A to point B all by my lonesome. I have not considered a career in singing jazz. You see, my singing voice is mediocre on a good day. But I have played in a jazz band before. Scoobity beep bop ba doop bop bow. Doopity beep beep ba doo. Doop beep 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 ba doop beep bow. Doop beep beep boo. So we've got some of those Supreme Verdicts coming out. Looks like we're actually bringing out the Sphinx's Revelation. I played trumpet. I was a trumpet player, but all of you should have known that. If you have you ever tried calling a horse race? I have not, actually. I have not at all tried doing that. I think if I can, man, I would do that though. I would try that. I would try doing voiceovers too. That would be fun. I would do commentary. Man, if I could just do commentary though, I love doing commentary. I love doing commentary. So any way that I can do commentary, that's what I want to do, and I love doing it here. I would do voice things. That sounds fun. I feel like it'd be fun. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'd try it. That makes sense. That's something that a trombone player would say. Let's see. What else do you call it besides RSVs? That's funny. Are these decks both 3-0? Yes, they are. It's fun as... Do you know how I can get into it? I would do that. Would I do that? I feel like... Can I make that work with the job that I have? Because the job that I currently have works out pretty well at the moment. I don't know. I'd consider it. I'd feel considerate. Huh. Who knew that considering it became considerate if you completely misspeak? Today I learned. I look forward to seeing that at the top page of Reddit. Alright, so we've got a solid win out of nowhere for Coleman, who was able to just bring that match back pretty incredibly from the brink of destruction. Kevin is going to get to be on the play. He's got some of that hand disruption, which could be solid on a Delver variant, and he's going to start off with a Bloodstained Mire. No Delvers to kick things off. This screams Thought Scour to me. Sell you some generic... Ooh, ask me between games. Ask me between games, Toro, and then I will sell you the most generic of beverages. Is Coleman on the Holy Diva list? No, he's not at all on the Holy Diva list. Though, are you aware that the Holy Diver list is actually the streamer Holy Divas list? Because she has been crushing it lately. She gets back from vacation and just casually crushes out like 2 5-0s. This deck also runs Think Twice. It also doesn't run most of... Like, the decks are completely different. They're not even remotely similar, except for the fact that they're both blue and white. But otherwise, they're very different. Thank you very much. Mostly lost. Yee-hoo! Sorry about that one. Had to Michael Jackson my way out of there. She's been using this one to just crush Death Shadow all day. So, we are going to lose a Fallen Intermage to the graveyard. We've also got a Lightning Bolt in there, and we're going to fire off this Tasigur going for that Delve. So, we've got the turn 2, 4, 5. Coleman may not have an answer to it. Let's see what we've got. Serum Vision's here, and we are looking for an answer. Thank you. And, ooh. Okay, so we do have the basic planes, but we're looking for something. We've also got that. Alright, so Coleman with the Hallowed Fountain out does have some Think Twice, is putting this into tapped and is looking for an answer. Turns out he's actually got a ton of mana. Also, I think I just saw an Burial Rites. Is it possible that Coleman is running a Gifts and Burial Rites package? Maybe I didn't see it. I don't actually know. Counter Squall from Kevin, but a Dispel from Coleman. Darn it. Darn it, darn it. So a path to exile on that Tasigur, exiling it. Kevin's going to find a land. Coleman has the Dispel for the Counter Squall, so Coleman doesn't lose any more life than at 16. I know, I love me some Counter Squall. We did get to see it, and then we got to see it go away. But it is in that graveyard waiting to be snapped back. Otherwise, Coleman's still on that 3 lands. Kevin actually getting a little bit of ramp out of this and working his way into Cryptic Command if he has it. Unlikely. I'll explain the Watergrave. Indeed. Indeed-a-redo. I think it's mostly to flashback the mystical teachings, though. I'm almost certain that it's mystical teachings. But Kevin dropping down a Watergrave of his own and just kicking it back, so staying a little bit back. And as long as there are not any threats on the field, I think this game features Coleman. Mostly lost, I think I completely agree with you. We've still got Snapcaster as an option. Could have Snap Path, Snap Dispel if it's needed. And it looks like at the end step we're going to go for an Electrolyze here. Coleman fine with that one. He gets to draw a card, but I think he's saving these threats for a bigger impact card. 2 damage, draw a card, recycling is basically Kevin uses his mana to recycle into a new card, and Coleman is willing to take 2 damage to find out what that new card is and maybe answer that one. Looks like a Thought Scour from Kevin. Going for this now as opposed to later means that he's looking for something, probably a Delve threat in hand, and that certainly seems to be the case. Screams Tasigur, not tapping anything else, and that is going to be the case. We are going to lose our Snapcaster value by going for this since our graveyard is gone. A Think Twice from Coleman getting fired off in response, and we do find the path, so we might just see an end step path, but it looks like we will not possibly going to wait until the upkeep. We've got another land coming down. Actually, we are just going for the path now, waiting to be able to fight the battle over it, so that Snap Dispel is an option. But Coleman just fires off his own Dispel, and we'll see if Kevin has got another answer, in which case Coleman has got Snap Dispel available, I believe. But that's going to go off, and Kevin is going to get to find another land. Did he not draw off of Scour? He may have. I actually did not watch super closely. I did not watch super closely. What do we think of Flusterstorm in Modern? That card would be great. People would run it. It would be very, very good. Coleman is an extremely fast player. I love watching Coleman play because it seems like he's on fast forward, basically. It's possible. I unfortunately did not see, but we're going to flash back this Think Twice. We're going to draw a card. We've got Land Snapcaster. And let's see if we get to it. And it looks like we are going to draw into, I think, another Think Twice. So we're going to untap, draw a card. It's a Glacial Forest. Might just... Alright, so we're going to kick back the turn. Not looking to proactively go for this Think Twice. We are playing some good old classic draw go, keeping up Snapcaster for anything that we might need. And I think at the end step we're going to see Coleman flash back the thoughts, cast the Think Twice and possibly flash it back if he does feel the need to. We'll see if Kevin wants to fight a battle over that. I think it's pretty unlikely. lining up 3 mana on both sides, possibly signaling a Kolaghan's Command here, and maybe Vendine Click. But it looks like a Fulminator Mage is going to come on down. Coleman seems to be firing this one off in the meantime, see if he finds anything that he actually feels like answering it. And I believe he found himself into a Cryptic Command. No, but that's a Sphinx's Revelation. So he did find the Cryptic Command, didn't think the Fulminator Mage was worth it, and Kevin is keeping it as a threat. Finds himself another Kolaghan's Command. Coleman with the Sphinx's Rev and double Kolaghan's Command, looking pretty solid. Might almost just not fire off the Sphinx's Rev until he can make sure that he can hold up 3 mana for the Snap Dispel at the moment. Crazy hands, Coleman. This game is effectively over. Coleman has a huge advantage at the moment. Essentially. Using Fulminator Mage as your main source of threat is a pretty rough spot to be in. Coleman being excessively patient right now, waiting for Kevin to tap out and not worrying about this. He's probably just going to fire off the Condemn at this so that he can reduce the pressure on himself. And he's probably going to fire this one off at the Shockland. I doubt that he's going to try and take down the Tectonic Edge. So I think Kevin is deciding if he wants to gain 2 life. Might just decide to take the 2 life. But I might just blow up a land so that if I draw a Kolaghan's Command, I have the ability to rebuy into a threat, even if that threat is just a 2/2. So Coleman is going to get to untap. Does need to be a little bit cautious about countermatching from Kevin, because if he isn't casting spells, then he's got gas in hand. If he's not playing lands, then he's probably got gas in hand, because lands are relatively important in this matchup. So Coleman does need to be slightly cautious of what he's got. So we've got a land from Coleman kicking it back, buying himself all the time in the world, maybe just waiting to have an active Colonnade, because as long as Kevin isn't doing anything, Coleman is going to be patient. A Painful Truths. Looks like we're going to see a Cryptic Command, possibly draw a card off of it. And Coleman does have the Snap available. Could also go... Ooh, Counter Squall here. Looks like we're going to see Snap Dispel, and if Kevin has got the final Dispel, that's going to be pretty good, and it looks like we do not. So now Coleman's the one with the threat on board. We're going to get to draw a card from that. It's yet another land, but Kevin in a pretty tight spot at the moment. Now it's back to Coleman's turn after he fires off that Painful Truths, and he has got room to work with. He could put down this Flooded Strand and just fire off a Sphinx's Revelation for massive value right now if he just wants to gain the life and go for it, while he knows that Kevin does not have the counterspell up. But he's going to swing for 2 and put Kevin down to 15, and it looks like Coleman is going to be more patient. Oh yeah, he's going for it. Sphinx's Rev for 6. Have a nice day. He's going to have to discard a card. That's how... He Sphinx's Rev for so much that he's going to have to discard. And a Jace Architect of Thought in that also. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't leave up 1 mana. But we're probably going to discard maybe the... Alright, the Think Twice. We can flash that one back. And suddenly, Kevin just drowning in the card advantage that Coleman just assembled as he goes up to 17 as well. Pulls ahead in the cards in hand, pulls ahead on the board with the creatures, is ahead in the lands, is ahead on life total. In every single aspect of this game, Coleman has taken a significant stance. And we're going to Lightning Bolt the Snapcaster Mage, put down a Kalitas. Actually, this is a sweet play. He's got a 3/4. He also gets a zombie out of this. And while it may not be enough, because Coleman does have this path in hand, because he's got the ability to flashback Think Twice if he ever wants to in the future, and he's got all these things to do in hand, it does mean that Coleman, you know, has to actually expend some of those resources. And of all the ones that you can do, that's pretty good. So we're going through the binder again. We're going to find ourselves into the Black Token section and find ourselves a zombie token. And an Ancestral Vision for Coleman. Naturally. We might see him just fire off the Detention Sphere because he feels like it, and it's the more expensive threat that still can't be answered by anything that Kevin has. And then just try and answer the... Looks like we are just going to path it, take the easy play, because I think he also did draw into a Snapcaster. And we might see him actually go with this Jace. The Jace is going to be pretty bonkers. Might go for a Serum Visions first to see if he can draw into anything like a Condemn. If he has one, also just a Snap Condemn on top of this Jace. Looks pretty impressive. We're going to drop down the Ghost Quarter, we're going to play a Jace, and even minusing the Jace is a pretty bonkers play right now. And it looks like that is not the play. We're going to keep this zombie in check at the moment, and we're going to fire off the Ancestral and just kick it back. So Coleman not too worried about taking the 1 damage from the zombie, whether it's going towards his Jace or to Coleman himself. He seems to be pretty confident in just getting this Jace plussed up, because if he ults it, it's almost certain that he can win. At a certain level, Jace ult is just bonkers. It doesn't matter quite what you're doing it. You can Kolaghan's command back another one of his creatures, make him go for the ultimate, win the game. Oh, always good. Always good. Can we get the blue-white list? I do not have one, though I can see if Coleman feels like tweeting it out, but we don't click deck lists anymore. But you can find his Twitter at Slowly Crashing. And he's been pretty amenable to it in the past. So, the zombie coming in, it is going to knock that Jace down to 4. Really light on resources. Coleman sitting with a Cryptic, a Detention Sphere. He's got answers. He can pretty much move in on these whenever he wants to, and I think right now he's just playing the patient game. Kevin's at 15, he's at 17, and he is just feeling fine. Looks like a Lightning Bolt pointing towards Coleman, redirecting to that Jace, and we're going to leave it at 1. It's a little bit interesting to be firing that one off now as opposed to later, or just potentially keeping your options open. But we're going to plus this one up right now. Maybe his intent was to keep the Jace from minusing. A Serum Visions from Coleman is going to find him another Serum Visions. We also get to set this one up, putting a Think Twice on top, another card, a land on the bottom. Might find ourselves firing off another Serum Visions just to try and get a little bit of value off of this. But we're actually going to kick the turn back. Coleman continuing to be exceedingly patient, maybe just waiting for this Ancestral Visions to come off. I think he also does have the Snapcaster in hand and maybe looking to go for some Snapcaster value. Looks like we are going to see a Cryptic command from Coleman here to counter that Snapcaster. Draw a card, fully aware of, I think, the Think Twice that's on top. That is the case. So now he's got access to Snapcaster and got access to Think Twice, and he's still got 6 mana up. So he could go Snap Cryptic. No, he doesn't have the mana for Snap Cryptic because he's got 2 basics up. Unless he wanted to use Ghost Quarter Shenanigans, which in theory he could use Ghost Quarter Shenanigans to actually snap Cryptic. But he's just going to knock the Jace back down to 1, but as long as Kevin is focusing on this Jace, Coleman has got all the time in the world. So this Jace is actually being super effective at what it's really trying to do, which is prolong the game. And as long as Kevin is attacking that one and keeping it, then it's functionally as if Coleman, isn't getting attacked at all. Boy, the text on that is tiny. I'll just tell you what it does. +1 creatures your opponents control, or whenever an creature, until your next turn, whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks, it gets -1/-0 until end of turn. -2, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Your opponent puts them into 2 piles. You take one of those piles and put it into your hand. And then a -8 for each player you look through the library and you cast a card out of their deck without paying its converted mana cost. Or without paying its mana cost. Okay. And a Detention Sphere coming out, maybe just pointing towards that zombie. Means that you've got a little bit of value and he don't. Looks like we are going to Fatal Push our own zombie. It's Kevin, I think, accepting the situation that he's in. Fatal pushes his own zombie just to keep it from getting hit by that Detention Sphere, I suppose. He's going to play a land and kick it back. Coleman with a Snapcaster, probably just going to fire this one off to have a threat on board. Maybe go for a Cryptic command to bow. Oh, he could Cryptic command? No. Okay, Sphinx is red for 3. That's fine too. Let's go up to 19 and draw 3 more cards. With a... Goodness gracious. And he drew into the Celestial Colonnade. I think Coleman is about to take this one in 2. And that's a kitchen. Oh no, that's a path. So we're going to play down the Colonnade. We're probably just going to attack for 2 and kick it back. Kitchen Finks in hand. Why? There was actually no reason to Fatal Push the zombie, except Kevin had a card that was completely dead in hand, and just hit it, because I think at this point he is pretty close to out of this match. A Surgical Extraction from Coleman on the Dispel by the look of it. So we are looking to find a Dispel, I believe, just to make sure that he doesn't have to fight those counter wars anymore. Next turn he draws another 3 cards. Yeah, the only difference between Delver and Control is basically the Snapcasters are Cryptics in the Control deck. All this land and nothing to do. Looks like we're going to end step the Secure the Waste, and Kevin accepts the defeat. So Coleman takes this one in 2. We've got about 16 minutes left, and let's see if we can get another match on this camera for round 4. How's everybody doing tonight? I didn't get the chance to ask you, but I gotta say you're all incredible. Thank you for being here. And how are you doing? How are you? Are you having a great day? Are you having a good morning? Are you enjoying your time here? I don't know. But let's head on up to the booth and see if we can get into the feature match up there. I'll see you there. Hello, and thank you for joining. My name's TJ. We'll see what we can do. Any red-green breach? I don't know. My list is not out there at the moment, so, and that one's even a Scape Shift version, which wouldn't really help your question. Check it out. I've got a vest. It's awesome, and it's all kinds of cool. I'm wearing it underneath this squeaky leather jacket. If you are just joining us for the first time, be sure to hit that follow button and join us more in the future. We're streaming out of Geek Fortress, located in Snohomish, Washington, which is, of course, the incredible place which you can find at geekfortressgames.com to order any of those singles or sealed products that you may need. But you can also, of course, subscribe and follow this stream where we stream 3 times a week. It's all kinds of fun and super fun. We've got Modern and Legacy. Did I just say that it was fun twice? Good eye. Good thinking. You heard it. And yes, it's true. It's twice the fun. All kinds of good times to be had here. Whew! You went 2-2 at your local Modern night. Feels mess still learning your Kiki deck. Congratulations on your 2-2, especially with the Kiki Core deck, especially if you're learning it. Doomguy3545, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. But, yes, getting 2-2 with a Kiki Core deck, excellent, especially if you're learning it. That deck has got a lot of different plays, and it will take a lot of time to get used to it. Good job. Keep playing a sweet deck, because that is awesome. Is it 1 a.m. here? No, it's 10:08. What else? He's not spazzy? No, I am not. I'm just enthusiastic. I do like doing this. I love doing this. It's what I want to keep on doing. Do I know what Coleman's Twitter is? Yes, it is at Slowly Crashing. All lowercases. You can also find mine at Red Baron MTG. If you ask him to, he can also tag me into it, and then I can retweet it. That's also an option, of course. You can also find me streaming from my home at twitch.tv/RedBaronMTG when I can, and if you were going to be at San Antonio in the future, which is of course next week, was what we just watched the finals? Yes, it was. Well, sort of. We had over 20 people, I believe, but for our Wednesday nights, because people have work in the morning, hopefully I said that right. Thank you so much for that follow button. I appreciate it, and you are great because people work in the morning, and of course it is a Wednesday night, a school night, a work night, a good night. We only do 4 rounds, and then we do payout based on record. Now, normally on Saturdays is when we stretch into that 5 rounds because of the mid-20s that we usually get for these events. Of course, you can also find us for about 4 to 5 rounds for Legacy on Fridays. That's exciting and awesome and always a good time. Yes. But I'm not sure if we'll have any other matches here tonight, so I'm going to keep my eyes open for who else in the world we might be able to host on over to and have some fun with. And it looks like, oh, I've got notifications all over the place, and thank you to the people who did follow. One of you by the name of Jeskai Byrne. I gotta say, that is a super sweet name. In general, in the world, in the place, in your face. Because it's Jeskai Byrne, you're great, be great, and everyone out there, continue being great. But let's see what else we can find. Let's take a look and see who's live. Oh goodness, LSV is still up and running. Wowzers. The fact that we got over 200 people while we were up against that prolific titan of a streamer and a Magic personality is pretty awesome. Thank you. That was the most exciting tourney explanation of all time. It is my pleasure. Excitement is basically my job, right? it's this world in which I think my job as a commentator, because you can find Magic anywhere, you can watch Magic, you can play Magic, you can do all kinds of stuff, right? But what I can hopefully do to convey to you is two things. One, explain, like, I want to, at the end of the day, pass my excitement on to you. Is there a good substitute for surgical extraction? Nile Spellbomb is okay. It's for a different reason. You could also go with Extirpate, but it's not great. Fairy Macabre. Fairy Macabre. Go with Fairy Macabre. Unless you need to take them all out of the graveyard, or out of the library as well, then you go for Extirpate. Let's go ahead and host on over to Holy Diva. She's back off of vacation. Well, it is. Excitement is my job. Like, you can find most of the things that you find here other places. That's a truth. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. The fact that Magic content exists in the world, the fact that Magic games exist in the world, that's a good thing. But what can we provide that others don't? That's what it comes down to. What can we provide? What makes us unique? What makes us interesting, right? Excitement. Excitement is what makes us interesting. And it's also just what makes commentary good to me. Why do the European football or soccer announcers just say, goal? They don't say, oh, and it looks like he got the goal. They're going to pull ahead 3-1. No, they say, goal! They got it! Yes! And it's awesome and it's exciting and everybody watching it, it's like, yes! And it's amazing. It's amazing, right? And that's just exciting. And then you move into other sports, baseball. It's a grand slam, and everyone's like, yes, it is. Let's go make some hot dogs on the barbecue and have ourselves a nice family dinner. Or something, I don't know. But excitement is like such a big part of what commentary is in other venues, and it needs to be more of a part of Magic in my mind. Never change. I will do my best not to. But that's what it is. It's like, this game is exciting. The people who play it love it, right? So, like, you gotta show it. That's why wrestling is fun. Yes, you think the Macho Man Randy Savage would have been the cream of the crop if he had been sitting there as a mono Boro, like, nothing? No, not a chance. That's a pretty accurate description of this. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm coming from. Anytime that I'm getting into this booth and just, it's about excitement. It's about excitement and having fun. So that's where I'm coming from. And hopefully you all enjoy it. But we're going to host on over to Holy Diva after I did that little bit of a spiel, which hopefully was not too obnoxious. Not the mild man. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Whew. Okay. But thank you, everybody, for continuing to be here, for continuing to be a part of this with me. I love doing this, and I can't wait to do it more in the future with all of you. You're a rock star. You're a rock star. You are a rock star. Are you about to kill me with... I love that. The brushwalk. Brushwalk. Brushwalk's amazing. Thank you so much, Mostly Lost, for that wonderful reminder. Alright, everybody, go enjoy Holy Diva. She's an incredible streamer. She's doing the Blue-White Expertise Control, which is a phenomenal deck. She's crushing Death Shadow left and right. She's back from vacation, and when you get there, there's two things that you should do. One, say hi. She's pretty great. And two, hit that follow button. She's a great streamer. Should be, like... all the follows belong to her. Sure, why not? Why not? But yeah, check it out. She's great. So, from all of us here at Geek Fortress, the players, thank you to the mods, thank you players, thank you viewers, thank you everybody who's ever involved with this process. This is certainly not anything that could have been done by any one person. Hockey D, it's good to see you. We're unfortunately calling it a night, but whether it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, just remember that you're a Fortnite. Doro came up with that, and I love it. We'll see you all next time, everybody. Next stream, Friday, Legacy, 7:30.